The following podcast, I sat down with Juda Alcabes, and he reached out to me. I've been following his stuff for a while, and he is a fascinating character. He is a therapist who has taken his therapy abilities and combined them with improv and comedy and stand-up and music, and it was one of the most fascinating conversations. I was just completely intrigued. What is this all about? We got down to it. It was one of the funniest podcasts I ever had. I really got a bunch of great laughs in, and he showed me a little bit of the technique, and it was phenomenal. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. And remember to like, follow, subscribe, all that stuff. It is really helpful, and it is a special favor to me. Thank you, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to the Brainstorm podcast. And now, your host, Sonny Perlman.
We're live.
Hello.
Juda Alcabes. Is that how you say your last name? Alcabes?
Yeah, Alcabes, yeah.
Awesome. And I know you as the improv therapist.
That's
from the Instas.
The Instas, right?
From the Instas.
That's right.
So, welcome. Okay, so interestingly, I'll tell the little story to everybody.
Yeah.
Is that you contacted me, like you were liking some of the stuff, wanted to collaborate, do something together. And my response was, I'm intrigued. You did a great imitation of me before. Can you do that imitation again?
I'm gonna have to get more used to your voice, and then I'm gonna try to.
You did it great.
Thank you. I was.
I
working
sound
on
like
it
a total
yesterday.
stoner on that.
Yeah, it's there's hearing you in person is different
It's
than
different.
Because I was practicing it in my car yesterday. Full disclosure. But now I hear there's a different part of your voice that I have to kind of process.
You got to find the other one.
Yeah, I gotta find it. Yeah.
I had Ami Kozak. You know Ami
Yes.
Kozak?
Yeah.
I had him on. And at the end of the pod, he did a pretty great imitation of
Oh,
me
yeah?
afterwards. First of all, very flattering. I think that, what is it called? Imitation is flattery or
Yeah.
something? I don't remember.
Highest form.
Is it imitation or is it another word? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So you said, right, you sent me the voice note. It was like, I don't know what you do. I'm intrigued. But I don't get it. I think it was something like,
Right.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
But I'm intrigued because I've been following you on Instagram for a
Yeah.
while, and you do this improv stuff.
Yeah.
Besides for all the other therapy, we'll get into everything,
it.
and we'll talk about everything crazy about the world, hopefully.
Yeah.
And we'll get to know each other. But, so I'm just going to throw it out there right off the bat.
Let's go.
What the heck does improv have to do with therapy? Could you just start me there? Like, what? Improv therapy?
Yeah. Well, the short of it is, because there's so many different parts to it, but the short of it is that I started taking an improv class for myself to learn, because I just love this stuff. I love comedy. I've always loved it, and I've always done some form of comedy. Like in the From world, it was Purim. It was whenever I had a chance to do it, summer camp or whatever. I started taking an improv class for myself, and what I realized was in the improv theater, the way that they teach you how to improvise is very different than therapy. Where in therapy, we like to talk a lot. Like therapists, we have a lot to say, but we don't oftentimes have training opportunities where we're like, all right, I taught you this skill, and now we're gonna try it out. Right? Like maybe in a couples therapy, but you do it in the office, but then everybody's like, I'm not going to say to my wife, whatever, when you say that, it makes me feel blah, blah, blah.
Right. I mean, you could do role play.
You could. Right. You could. But in general, so this is what happened. So I'm in this improv class. They're teaching us how to improvise.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Check.
Do it. No. Good call.
My brain just went crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry. My brain went crazy thinking I did not press record.
That is the right.
Yeah. Okay, so improv class.
So I'm in the class, right? And they're teaching us how to make stuff up on the spot. And it kind of dawned on me that they're not explaining why it works. They're just saying how to do it. Right. So it's like, okay, now do this. And I feel like if I was teaching it, or it was a therapy thing, we would say, do this because it's going to allow you to feel this and open up this and da 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 da. And I went through the improv class, and I realized that everybody in the room was listening to each other better than anywhere else in the world, because improv is all about listening. We're respecting each other better than anywhere else I see in the world, because improv is all about respecting what your scene partner puts into the situation. And there was just a positive energy of a bunch of random ass people who didn't know each other, who were so different from each other. But we were in the parking lot for like 2 hours just goofing off after this class in a community center in Davie, Florida. And I was like, maybe there's something here which overlaps with therapy, which actually then I could like borrow their simplicity in like teaching technique.
Right.
You know?
Well, I'm just going to add something because I just realized, as you're saying, I'm sure you thought of this a million times, but you're also not even allowed to argue. Isn't it yes and?
Yeah,
like
right,
you're not
right.
Like in therapy, especially couples therapy, like
And Jewish therapy.
Like imagine you never argue with your wife. Where would that conversation go? Okay, so go on.
Yeah.
All right, love it.
Yeah, so originally I started taking it for myself, right? And this thought of like how it merges together with therapy was a thought that I had very early on, but I actually like put it aside because I really wanted to be very cautious about first of all, if I'm doing it for myself, I should not just turn it into a professional endeavor immediately, right? But B, I was very cautious about, a lot of well-intentioned people, I think they experience something that was good for themselves and they go, I found the thing which everyone else needs to do now.
Right.
And I was very cautious about that. I didn't tell anybody that I was doing improv classes. Like my friends didn't even know for a few months. And it wasn't like a shame thing. It was just kind of like, I just want to keep this the way it is right now. And then at a certain point, it'll change. Like when you're dating and then you get engaged and it changes just because everybody knows about it now,
right.
So I kept it like that. And then after I started telling people about it and I got like mixed responses, some people are like, what are you doing that for? And some people are like, that's awesome. I still waited a while till I merged them together because I started researching it. I'm like, not researching it looking for like evidence-based to back it up. Because I was like, I actually refused to look at any of that stuff for a really long time. Because I was like, I'm not going to try to prove this scientifically because I know what it is. Okay. I don't need data to back it up. I want to know about the history of it. I want to know who's done
history
this.
of improv or the history of the connection between his improv and therapy?
Both.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Because I wanted to know, like, if anybody's done this before, right? And if they did, how did they do it? Why don't more people know about it? There's actually a really rich history of people using improvisation for therapeutic purposes.
Really?
Yeah. Because the first person to do it in America was Viola Spolin, who was in Hull House in Chicago, doing it with immigrant kids for therapeutic purposes. And then her son in the 50s and 60s started the Second City Improv in Chicago, which is where all SNL personalities came from for a long period of time. And that's where improv comes from. It literally comes from a Yiddish mama in Chicago.
Well, what's the deal? This is a woman. I don't know who that is.
Viola Spolin, yeah.
Okay, so what was her deal?
She was like, there was obviously social work wasn't an established profession yet, but it was the beginnings of social work in Hull House in Chicago, Jane Addams, and she was there doing community work,
right,
with everybody
professional
else.
helpers.
Yeah, she was what you would consider an early social worker, but her thing was improv therapy.
Wow. Okay.
She was actually trained by Neva Boyd, right, the play therapy lady.
Right. Okay.
So there's a connection there, right? Like Neva Boyd.
That makes some sense.
Yeah. And then there's the whole psychodrama world, which was essentially, really, if you learn about Jay Moreno's stuff, he was trying to do proper theater as a therapeutic technique. It wasn't like now where it's like we're going to do a version of therapy, which has drama aspects to it. It was like, no, like theater is healing. Dude, he actually tried to get the Israeli government to have a psychodrama role play for Holocaust victims when they had Eichmann on trial. He petitioned the government to have this like time where before they sentence him that the families could come do like role reversal and that Eichmann would have to be like a Holocaust victim and talking and they would get to play Eichmann. Like he was kind of grandiose. He was kind of nuts. Jay Moreno. But like he viewed it as healing and he wanted to spread it to all different parts of the world. And it was just about being playful and expressive in imagination. And,
So why would that help us?
So
I know a lot of the things you're saying.
This is a very serious question. Is this a serious mode coming out of you right now? I don't know.
It happens sometimes.
It does. Okay. All right. I don't know. No, people do that with me also because I'm the improv therapist on both of those things.
You gotta be other things.
Right. So sometimes I'm like improv-y for a while and then I'll start talking about some psychology thing and they're like, what is this? or
Yeah.
vice versa. You know, they'll see him as a therapist, and then all of a sudden,
Well, I put out like ridiculous content sometimes.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. And I actually have a funny thing when I don't have a private practice anymore really, but when I did, so people would look me up, and I have like I used to have a thing called Our Place TV, but if you go on a deep dive, you'll find like 15 years ago, just sitting in front of a laptop doing these skits with a guy.
great.
It is so unprofessional on every level. I mean, and they would come to me for therapy and be like, I'm not sure if I should be trusting you with my life. So, yeah. So I have the serious part and the laughing part. And it throws people off, which is good.
No, it's good. It's good to have both parts.
But why does it help that we get into like,
Yeah.
I like it, but why does it help?
Well, think about this, right? You are improvising on every one of your podcasts.
Yes.
Right. And just simply put, improvisation in human interactions is really just deep listening and presence.
Okay.
Because if you had something planned, right, and you were so stuck on that, you would miss everything that's coming out of the other person, and then you would just keep going back to what's planned. But when you're improvising, you're listening, and you're listening in a deep way, and then you hear something, and then you take that, and you say, okay, how do I work with this raw part, right?
Yeah.
So one of the many things that it does, when you're practicing improv on a regular basis, you're actually learning how to listen in like a really deep way. You're listening to the entire person's communication, because you know that if you're not doing that, you're missing your opportunity to really maximize what you could do in that scene.
Right.
I remember
Is
somebody.
it? One second. Is
Yeah.
it like, okay, yesterday I had a very awesome day for getting in touch with my inner child,
Okay.
right? Which I'm thinking is part of this. So
yes.
this is where the question is at the end. But yesterday I was on the phone. I'm having a cigar, walking around the lawn by the place I work. Cigar, on the phone with Israel. I see a frog on the floor. So obviously my inner child is in heaven.
Hell yeah.
It's a frog.
It's a freaking frog.
It's like, right. So I look and I got excited. I'm like, it's a frog.
Right.
A frog is just made for our enjoyment. I don't know what they're made for, but it's like that
God
thing.
had to have like other reasons, but it was probably just for like, oh, that's awesome. That's
It's like an it's the most entertaining thing. And it's about to bounce. And anyway, so I'm looking at this frog and I go, oh, wow, frog. And so my internal thing was like, you know, this was child part was excitement. And then the adult was like, look at the frog and, you know, like a museum. And I was like, wait a minute. If I was a child, I would pick up this frog.
You'd poke it. Yeah.
I've never not picked up a frog as a kid. Like you got to pick up the frog.
That's the greatest line. I've never not picked up a frog.
Yeah.
Like, right. I've just never like.
That's
wow.
a short. No, I'm saying like who would miss an opportunity to grab a frog? So I reached down. I was like, okay, let's get in touch with my child. I reached down and I grabbed the frog. But of course, I'm a clumsy old adult now. So it jumps away. And I'm like, okay, it was worth it. And then a part of me goes, wait a minute, if I was a kid,
Chase it.
I would chase this frog. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of a very important conversation on the phone, by the way. And I have a cigar in the other hand.
Right.
It's very weird what's happening here. But meanwhile, I'm running around the lawn with my phone.
It's great.
And the cigar. And I finally get the frog, pick up the frog. And I tell the person on the phone, like, you got to wait a second because I got to take a picture. I know that we're on a phone call. So I take a picture of myself with this frog. Anyway, that's part of the story.
Yeah.
You think it's crazy. And then I got off the phone call, but I saw a snake.
Oh no.
And I'm like,
Do you always?
if
pick up
I'm
snakes?
going full blown, no, I would not make the statement about snakes. If I'm going full blown inner child there,
Right.
I'm like, let's pick up the snake. So I reached down. The snake totally bit me, which was
really?
wild.
You just casually got bit by a snake yesterday? And you're
Well,
like,
it was like a garter snake. Okay,
I don't know.
Anyway, I made a whole video
never
of
been
it,
bit by a
but
snake. Yeah.
I end up grabbing the snake and pick up a snake, which adults don't do.
Adults don't do that.
None of this is done by adults. Right. And I don't know, there was something about the deliciousness of just being the curiosity. So, that was the longest question ever, but the question is this. When you're saying improv listening sounds like the way a child could listen.
Yes.
That an adult can't.
Yes.
With no distraction.
Yes.
100%. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, absolutely. When you are playing as a kid, when you're imagining, like it's not a big procedure. Like you don't need to do a lot. You don't need to do anything almost to get into that space, right? As adults, we don't have access to that space, but like immediately. But we actually can work our way into that space. Once we're in that space, it's some people may not believe that this is true, but like you can actually get to the exact same place you were as a kid. I get there on a regular basis now. I remember the first couple times it happened to me in improv class. Now it happens on a regular basis. Like laughing hysterically, totally being uninhibited, just playing around it and seeing the imagined scene in front of you, like really living in it. It takes a lot of work to get there, but oh my God, it's freaking amazing.
Okay, so in the therapeutic process, you get to be 100% present, connecting to that part of you that is able to be curious and listen, and you just integrate that in with the other therapeutic, whatever model you're doing. Or,
Yeah. Well, it depends. I'm okay. So there's two parts of me, right? The therapist part of me is very serious, and you know, it's a good part of me. I like that part of me. That part of me says that if you're ever gonna recommend that a client do something, make sure that you have clarity on why it's beneficial to them, right? So if the client needs me to explain it to them, I'm happy to do that. But I need to know 100% of the time that I have a clear theory on like why this behavior is beneficial to this person in this moment of their life. Right. So I don't do it with everybody. And if I do it with somebody, it'll be very clear to me like what we're working on. And so sometimes it's just anxiety. And that's great because, you know, people think that they're not clever, or they're not quick, or they're blocked. And really it's just anxiety because we're improvising all of the time because we don't know what's happening next in a conversation. Right? So you hear something and then you react, and you hear something and you react, right? Sometimes it's intimacy because there's the connection and the listening and, you know, that occurs in an improv scene. Sometimes it's like becoming more agreeable. Like you're uptight with your control and your decision making, and, you know, doing some yes ands are going to really help a little bit.
Right.
So I think it hits on a lot of things. But I'm a stickler for, at least I know exactly why we're doing this right now. There are other times where we just do improv, and it's just awesome. And if there's a therapeutic benefit to you, awesome. And if there isn't, you had something great with other people, which I would say is therapeutic.
Right.
But you don't need to walk away with some like, from here we see that I could do this now. Like, you know, sometimes you just have awesomeness, you know?
I had my nephew on the podcast, and he was saying that like, the working out, he had to make his working out meaningful.
Yeah.
And the part of me is that I'm realizing that like you miss life if everything has to have meaning. Yeah. We're taught like meaning. Yeah. Sometimes it's the connection that's so powerful.
Right.
So I love that.
Yeah. And meaning, like everything has meaning, right? Like, right. But like you don't always have to define it. You know what I mean? You don't always have to be like, you realize what we just accomplished right here, right now. Like, I don't know, maybe in 10 years, I'm going to realize what we accomplished. You know, it's going to hit me like, oh my God, that was a big moment. Who knows? Like, is it the right thing to do for you right now? Is it awesome? Is it part of your life? Does it add to your life? Does it take from your life? You know?
So I think my biggest problem with all this, with the idea of like, let's see if it helps and we'll see, is that it costs $350 to have that session.
That's true. So, that's true.
Besides with that, I'm like, okay, well, we just had a good time, but
yes,
I go to a casino. If I lose $350, I'm kind of upset. Yes. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's so. I guess it's a different topic, but that's the first thing that came to me.
No,
I was like,
and I appreciate that. I mean, there's a couple of things. One is that, like I said, I won't do it if I don't think that there's going to be some teichen for them, right? Some benefit to the people, but also I do run groups, and the groups I keep them low, the prices specifically. You know, if I can just offer the group to free for somebody, or like I had a guy come to my group where I was like, just bring a contribution, you know, and he brought a bag of coffee, and it was like a good bag of coffee, and I was like, awesome, and he kept coming to my group for a while from that one bag of coffee. So I mean, like, you know, if I'm financially in a situation where I can, you know, offset
Right.
that, right? So then I do as much as I can to offer improv opportunities for people.
I feel like
So,
it's
yeah.
cool because improv probably you want to do in a group, no?
Yes. Yeah.
definitely
I mean,
wanna
you
do it.
can do it in, smaller individual settings or couples or whatever, but groups are the best because then you get an audience.
Wait, so a lot of people are going to watch this. Because I love comedy so much, and I obviously know what improv is. I've never taken an improv class, which I'm feeling kind of stupid about right now because it sounds like
you should feel terrible.
There are two things I've been wanting to do in the comedy world that I haven't done, which is improv class and a stand-up set, which I didn't do either of those yet.
Okay, so I have what to say on the stand-up set in a moment, but finish what you're
Tell
saying.
me what you have to say on the stand-up set.
Yeah. Okay. But didn't you want to explain improv?
Yes. No, so I wanted you to. Okay. I don't want you to get lost. I think everybody else is as ADHD as me, so I assume you're gonna lose the thought. But okay, my thought is that in order to maybe you could show me some improv, we could do something right now.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, show me something. I really want to learn something.
Hell yeah.
But the stand-up's like a different thing. But if you want to tell me what you thought on the stand-up. But
Yeah.
that's what I want you to, I want to do it right now. Show me some improv.
All right,
I want
all
to get
right.
improv-y.
All right, let's go. I mean, you were always doing it. You always do it on your podcast.
I'm doing it, but I want to get like funny.
Well, all right. So,
Improv-y, funny.
all right. So let's say like this. First of all, is that the whole I don't know the word here, sacredness of improv. We have to take that down like a whole, to knock that off its pedestal because it's not nearly as complicated or as special, meaning in terms of like the ability, as people think it is, right?
Okay.
So like, for example, like right now, if I was like, for the next 10 minutes, you're going to be a different person. You're not Sani, right? So give yourself a name.
Igor.
Igor. All right. What's Igor's favorite thing to do in the world?
Skiing.
Skiing. What's he deeply afraid of?
Heights.
Heights. All right. Oh, that's interesting. What's like a pet peeve of his that maybe is like he overreacts to, but it's like a very regular thing that happens during the day?
When people chew.
When people chew. Okay.
Yeah, it just drives them crazy.
All right. And who's his best friend in the world? Just like who does he trust?
Who's he trust?
Yeah.
Could he say his dog? He really
Absolutely.
likes he has
Yeah.
he has a husky that is his best friend.
All right. Okay. So we got so Igor
say a
loves
real person.
skiing. What? I said best friend. I said I don't know.
I'm making up a character. So
Yeah,
it's
there's
the
no
dog.
that's not against the rules. That's not
Okay.
at all. Igor. So Igor loves skiing. Afraid of heights. Is afraid of his pet peeve is people chewing. Right? Do you think you could act as Igor for the next 10 minutes? Meaning, if I asked you a question, you would answer as Igor, as opposed to Sani.
Yeah, I think so.
So
I already just did.
right, exactly, right. So meaning like the whole idea of like, oh, you're making stuff up on the spot, and it's like this wild talent. Well, what if we started with something you're like, oh, okay, I could do that, and then we practice doing that where you could access it faster, right? Because the more you practice anything, you get better at it, right?
Okay.
And then you got comfortable just being something that you just came up with on the spot, right? Does that make sense what I'm saying, right? So like
Storytelling a little.
it's
Okay.
storytelling, right? And so people think, hey, you have to be clever and you have to be fast and you have to do all this stuff. It's really just it's accessing a part of ourselves that everybody has at some point. It's different, but everybody has it.
So if you ask most people to do exactly what you just asked me, they come up with answers right away.
Sometimes they fumble around saying, I don't know, I'm not good at this. I'm not, I don't know if this is right. And then I do this in all of my workshops is I give them a prompt like that. And then everybody, or not everybody, a bunch of people in the room say, I don't know, I'm not good at this. And I always say to them, did you hear me say, make a good character? I said, make a character, give a name. Can you think of a name? Good job. You did it. Right. So there's that, like that whole other expectation, like catalog that we put, it needs to be this and it needs to be that. And I didn't say any of that.
Right.
And really it took me a long time to realize this in improv because one of the things which is so awesome in improv is when you screw everything up, but not on purpose. You are really trying to like answer a question or follow the rules of the game or whatever. And you totally screw it up. And one of my teachers was like, screwing things up is actually fun. And I was like, I'm trying to win. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to win this game when I should be actually being so reckless that I'm nowhere near winning, that I'm like more close to screwing it up than I am to being successful. We're actually playing like red light, green light as like a warm-up game. You know that game, red light, green light, when you're a kid? And when the guy said red light or whatever, I don't even know the rules anymore.
I think they turn around and you say red light, green light, 1, 2, 3, and then everybody has to run. And if they turn around, they catch.
Yeah, right. So when he was turned around, I climbed up on this massive stack of chairs and I crouched, right? And then he like turns back around and I'm frozen. And I'm like, I'm still in, I'm still good, right? And then when he turned back around the next time, I jumped off of the chairs knowing that I was going to get busted. I was so busted because like that's not a move. I didn't have enough time to make that move.
Right.
But he just turned around and saw me like a frog, like land in the center of the room. And then he's like, you're out. But the whole place was laughing hysterically. And I was like, oh, okay. So if I don't win something, I could have a great time doing it. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of
It's also our worst fear in the world is to be judged by people.
Yeah.
And doing things wrong
Yeah.
is a terror. It's like, because that means they're going to kick me out of my group here.
Right.
And so you're saying a lot of things you're doing is putting yourself out there, but I guess in a fun way, so everybody's enjoying it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
an amazing lesson for life, actually, if you could. There's a guy who's doing, it's reminding me of like, there's a guy online, there's probably a lot of people online doing it, but he's doing like, I don't know, 365 days of, now I'm forgetting, like exposure therapy, but it's another word for it. Like asking people ridiculous things.
Oh,
Could I, take a selfie with you? Or could
Right.
I work in your kitchen? Or like just ridiculous things. Nice. I don't know what they call it, but it's similar. It's like getting yourself ready for being turned down and like, and being judged. And so, all right. So, are we going to do a little, can you do a little more improv? I'm sorry, you just did a little bit.
Yeah. No, so I was just giving you I was just getting you a character going.
Okay,
but,
get a character.
No, I was giving you a character.
I know. Okay.
You want to, should I give a character and we'll just have a conversation? I mean, there's a million ways to do this, but
You tell me. I don't know how to do this.
Yes, you do.
I'm
Okay.
completely curious. I don't know how to do. Now, I'm not saying I haven't seen it, but
right. Okay, so the way that we do improv classes is we do warm-up exercises, which are totally silly and embarrassing and cringy, and sometimes I like can't stand them. I'm like,
really?
yeah. I'll tell you.
Okay. The more cringy on the pod I could get,
All right.
because I want to die when I do things cringy. I want to die. I just watched. Did you watch Tim Robinson's new movie? Okay.
Absolutely. I was looking forward to it for months. It is the greatest thing that ever happened to me.
Oh my God. I literally hated every moment of that movie. Straight up. What's the name of it? Friendship?
Friendship.
Let's just do a little movie. The difference. My son loved it, right? My son's crazy, Tim Robinson. He's like, you got to watch this. I got for my pool, because I have an inner child. In my pool, I bought a 16-foot blow-up screen and a projector so we could watch movies in the pool.
Awesome.
Like a mensch.
Yeah, right.
Like, I think if you're in Gullis, do it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, if you have white privilege and then you don't use it, it's almost like,
right.
Who was some comedian says that? It's like you're wasting it.
Right,
like,
right.
So if you're in Gullis, like, do it right. Blow up in the pool. We all get there. 10 of us in the pool. We're having a great time. You have to wait till it's dark, so it's like Motzei Shabbos. We're watching this thing. I couldn't breathe for the entire movie
Because it was too cringy.
It's cringe the whole time.
So good.
It doesn't stop. It doesn't let up. It doesn't.
Never.
I kept saying to my wife, I can't breathe. Let them do, like, have a funny scene. There was one funny scene in the whole movie. The rest was just, you want to die.
But what do you think about the psychedelic trip
That was the only funny scene in the whole movie.
that he just went to Subway and ordered a sandwich? Come on. That scene was brilliant.
It was amazing.
Okay.
And that was the one
Yes.
funny scene in the whole movie. The rest of the movie, I did not breathe. I had one laugh. It was the most nervous laugh I ever had in my life. All right, if you guys are watching and you watch movies,
Yeah.
don't watch don't
Friendship.
and do watch Friendship.
Yeah, watch it. It's super cringy, but first of all, I've been a fan of Tim Robinson for a really long time, to the point where I took sketch writing class for like a year and a half, and my teacher used to say, stop writing Tim Robinson sketches.
Oh, really?
Because everything was so influenced. Like, it would literally be, I'd write these characters that you would like, not that I could write like Tim Robinson, but like, it was like, you need to come,
It's all improv because he pushes it further and further and further to a
Yes.
point where you're like, Stop, please stop. Don't do it anymore.
Oh my God. One of my
Anyway.
favorite sketches that I wrote, which I haven't filmed, but one of my favorite sketches that I wrote, which was like a Tim Robinson sketch, was like a first day orientation in a workplace, and everybody's kind of going around and like sharing little interesting things about themselves. This guy is obsessed with the background checks. And he wants to know more about the background checks. And the person who's running the orientation is like, we'll get to that at a certain point. He's like, but like, does it cover like class 2 felonies, like aliases, known aliases? And everybody's like, yo, like this guy's way too into it. And then at a certain point, there's a lady in the room who's super nice and trying to keep the peace, you know? And he's getting more mad at her, and she's like, "Oh, I just want to hear everybody's opinion." And at a certain point, he goes, "Shut up, Linda, or I'll bury you in a box." And like the whole room gets quiet. And then he goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna go." And he goes to the table where the donuts are, and he takes all the donuts, and he leaves. And that's the end of the sketch. And my teacher was like, "That's brilliant." But it's just another Tim Robinson.
But it's Tim Robinson.
I love Tim
Oh,
Robinson.
so you love him. I can handle him in small doses.
Yeah.
But my cringe level,
Okay,
my son's
right.
always making fun of me, is that I have a cringe, like even Borat, I can't watch a whole movie.
Right.
I can watch every clip. I can watch every LG clip. You give me 3 in a row, and I need a jump. Like, it's like I can't breathe. He's so uncomfortable. He's sitting in the uncomfortability. The whole idea of it is you just sit
Right.
in this uncomfortable space and get more and more uncomfortable. So that's the cringe.
Right.
That's how you prepare for improv classes? That's
No.
a warm up? Tell me about this warm up.
So warm up exercises are it's really just being silly and incrementally, right? So because everybody comes in to improv, or you know, wherever they were in the world, they were being, you know, socially appropriate. And in improv, you be socially inappropriate, meaning that not that you're doing inappropriate things, but like a big thing you do in improv is say the quiet part out loud, which, you know, in real life you don't do. So you might, in an improv scene, you might say like, you know, you seem like the type of person that would lie to my face, but I would believe you. Like you would say that to a character in the middle of a scene, you know?
Okay.
So you have to like warm up that part of yourself, like not acting socially appropriate. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow. So you like see the thought bubble in real life.
Yeah. So here, this is one of my favorite warm-ups. It's called angry compliments. The way that it works is you say something really nice to the other person, but you make yourself enraged when you say it.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Can we do this?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to like peek the microphone here, but I might yell a little bit. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Peek the microphone.
I'll back up if I, yeah.
Parental advisory for this part.
Can we bleep? Can we bleep?
I don't know. I don't bleep. It's just going to be curses.
No.
That's too much technology.
Sonny, the first thing that I want to tell you is that I think your podcast is actually really helpful to people, and your energy is something that I think a lot of people benefit from. And I just wanted to say that to you. Now you go.
Okay.
It's uncomfortable.
That's awesome. Okay.
I love how long it is.
There's so many things. Okay, I'm trying to build up my
get angry.
my rage.
Yeah, I gotta get.
Dude, this improv stuff is unbelievably amazing. I don't even know what to do with myself. Like watching you do this, it's just impressive. And it's impressive.
It's so good. It's so good. Can I tell you one of the reasons why it's so good is that I'm a big Seinfeld fan.
Yeah.
And there's an episode where they like making fun of Jerry the whole time that he can't get angry.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm really mad. No, I'm really. And he has like a little smirk on his face. That's what you have when you're like, you're angry. You're not really
I'm
angry.
trying.
It's so good.
I was trying to tune in.
But it's right. So this is the beauty of improv is that like the way you did it is right. Right. And the more you believe that, the better you get at it. So you don't actually review like, what did I do wrong? I don't let my students do that. And in my personal team that I'm on, we don't do that. We don't do what didn't go right. We go like, it's really like, what can we do? What would we like to do in the future to like take it up a level? And it sounds like it's kind of the same, but it's actually not at all. So like, because the way that it came out is the way that it was meant to be, 100%.
Right.
And who you are is really what makes it work, right? So you're not an angry guy. So like anger is not like, it's not right there
not
for you.
kinda-
It's not there for you, but
No.
but it is funny.
Okay.
And we accomplished that. You know what I'm saying? We do angry compliments sometimes before a show, like to warm up, and we yell the nicest things at each other. And like we try to go like away from wherever we're performing to like warm up. And sometimes we're just yelling at each other like, since I met you, my life has been better and I feel more confident.
I love it. I want to correct you. I am an angry guy.
Oh,
and
okay.
I am.
I didn't know that.
If you want to ask me my worst fear, it's probably anger.
Oh, that's kind of mine.
Yeah, I have for many, many, many decades now have like shoved that anger down in a place that is like I am so terrified of.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if you have anything to do with psychedelics.
I don't.
Some point psychedelics come up in my brain
during
a podcast, which I got to stop. But in the last one, it freed up anger in a way that was like, because the whole fear of anger is if I get angry, they're just gonna leave. Everybody's gonna leave me. Like, well, I'm gonna blow up what I got.
Right.
And for some reason, it was like, you're good. You could get angry. It's fine.
Right.
It was like a freeing up. Mm-hmm. And I've been like, I'm feeling angry lately.
Yeah.
Like it's really weird. But I spent decades hiding it.
Right.
Like not hiding it, but afraid of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, that's
no. I mean, I would say, I'm not trying to just like jump on the bandwagon here, but I would say it's probably one of my biggest fears too is anger. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot in how to deal with anger, but I'm a very intense person, and I was raised in a very intense environment, and I don't know that I fully still maybe grasp how comfortable I am with intensity, like interpersonal intensity, and how uncomfortable the regular person is. Like, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like, if it gets tense, it gets tense, and then we get mad. That was the way I was raised, I've worked really, really hard on it, but...
Well, it's pretty impressive that you like Tim Robinson.
Oh, so Tim Robinson is...
He's the cure.
I don't know that I would have liked him 10 years ago. It might have hit me too hard. You know what I mean? It might have been like too close to home.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, like, oh, that's not funny. That's,
He just ate the receipt.
Yeah.
It was one of the greatest scenes of all time. So good. Sorry.
The
Detroiters were amazing.
Oh, man, the Detroiters. Why did I think of the Detroiters? I was listening to your podcast yesterday. I wanted to mention something about the Detroiters. It'll come back to me. There's something specific in the Detroiters that you made me think of. Anyways.
I did love the Detroiters. But yeah, I would tell you. So I will say with the Tim Robinson. And this is really interesting because I also I want to calm every situation down.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need to keep it calm, which is cool because I could use it for skills, but I recognize that it's also like I can't go the other way.
Right.
That's the part that bothers me. Like right now with that anger, I was trying to tune in, but could I actually do anger?
Right.
Like you picked it up right away. There's something holding me back from exploding out. So, which is cool because I wouldn't have got that with a therapist for a while.
Right.
So if he did the improv and then you're like, wait a minute, you're smiling a little during the anger. I don't know if you do this, but you just to have that information.
Yeah. So I do that, but I do it after the improv because you can't really be in the full playful mode if you're analyzing it. The second to worst group that I've taught improv to is therapists. Because,
really?
Yeah, because the whole time they're going, I think I did that because when I was younger. I'm like, no, we don't do that here, right?
Shut it down.
Yeah, the worst is teachers. I love teachers, but they wanted so much structure. And I was like, no, you just make it up. And they're like, but what are the rules?
That's amazing.
I teach the teachers. I do professional development. And now I'm ready for them to be frustrated with me that I'm not giving. I give very loose rules. And I'm like, go ahead. And they're trying to find out what the procedures are. And I'm like, that's it. You just, now you make it up.
I will tell you, my staff gets very frustrated with me with that idea. Cause I'm like, if I have to show you the way to do this,
right,
then it's not you.
Right.
You got to go screw up, come back. Let's talk about it. And I'm doing this with my staff a lot. And they're like, I want more rules. Could you give me more rules? And I'm like, no.
Right.
Go nuts. It makes a really creative staff.
Yes.
But there is a little chaos.
I'm sure there's a little chaos, but the other side of it is not, it's not ideal to be micromanaging. That doesn't get very far. It doesn't do very much. But
so were you seeing the lack? Go back to see how I could switch like that. Were you seeing the lack of in the therapy you were doing? Like there was something missing, and you wanted to add it. Is that?
Yeah, sort of. So I think of it as I think some of it is like the culture or the climate or the current state that like our culture is in terms of therapy. Is that I love therapy. I don't know if you know this, but like your brother is like the biggest influence on me. I don't know.
No way.
No, yeah. Actually, you came
Which one? Akiva?
Akiva, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I was in LIU.
No way.
Yeah. I should have mentioned that earlier. I didn't.
Did I do the class ever?
You
No.
came.
I came?
Yeah. I was like, it was so cool because, Dr. Perlman is Dr. Perlman.
Yeah.
And then his brother shows up in a sweatshirt and like a giant kippah, right? And you're like, yeah, whatever. We do stuff. We don't. Yeah. And like Dr. Perlman's like reading out of Yalom, And I was like, this is a literal sitcom.
Yeah.
It's like one brother's a PhD, the other one is a goofball. Can they survive professionally together?
It's pretty wild.
Yeah. So I was in.
Wait, so I actually gave you a class?
Yeah.
What class? Okay.
Yeah, 2012, I guess it was. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Was I juicing?
Were you juicing or juicing?
At one time, I went in to get in this LIU class, and I came in with my juice because I went on a juice fast for 2.5 months. And I just walked in with my juice, and the whole class was like, what is going on with the juice?
I don't have a memory of that, but
I feel like you would remember that.
It feels
right.
It feels like there's, maybe I do some psychedelics, I'll get that.
It was 1
back.
year. I gave it a couple of times.
Yeah.
But okay.
So why was I saying that? What your brother?
My brother is a big influence in your life.
Yeah. And you asked me something right before that.
Oh, I was asking what I was basically saying.
The state of therapy, right?
Yeah.
So I think therapy is sacred. I think it's a wonderful, beautiful place. It changed my life and the stuff that is accomplished in there. Like, I could try to say it, but just listen to anything your brother puts out and you'll know what I'm trying to say by what he says. Okay.
Nice.
Fine. Okay. So, but the world has changed in terms of our relationship with therapy. Our culture is very pro therapy and talking about therapy, therapeutic concepts all the time. And I came to this kind of like somewhat of a crisis point where I was like, is therapy as valuable as it once was? Considering the fact that you can talk about your issues in any setting. You can talk about it before therapy, in therapy, after therapy, online. You can talk about it at your Shabbos table, right? Like, so it's great on a podcast, right? You can literally go on a podcast and be like, I'm currently super depressed, right?
Yeah.
And that's so there's pros and cons to that, but I think it changes the therapy hour because if you roll back the clock, let's say 40 years where a lot of things were taboo and there was a lot of downside to that, you had the therapy hour as your sacred place where you could go and say those things because you can't even like intimate to anyone else that that's part of your world, right? You have to hide it at all times. So the therapy hour was this little bubble that you got to be in, which then allowed you to like release just from the fact that it was confidential and it wasn't attached to any other part of your life, right? I was starting to see people come in that were talking themselves into their problems in the session. Meaning I'm like, okay, so you woke up and you journaled. That's great. That's a good thing, right? Now you're here. We're talking about the problem. Where are you going from here? I'm going to meet up with my recovery buddy and we're going to talk about this issue more. And I'm like, dude, you got to go bowling or something. You got to do something. You know what I mean? And so like, it kind of came together at the same time, like a finding improv and also this like, whatever you want to call it, crisis about therapy. But I'm doing activity therapy. I play tennis with my clients. I've played a lot of sports, hockey, football. Music is something I've always done with my clients. And there are some times where the entire session is us just playing music. And it's very clear, like I said before, it's very clear why I think this is important. But sometimes it's important because it's like, this is an example where you can deal with your issues without talking about them more and how you think you need to come in and lay it out in verbally. But if you play music for the next 40 minutes, does that impact you more than if you would have talked your way back into your problems?
Right.
I don't know if you agree with all the stuff I just said, but
Okay,
that's
so-
kind of where I went. Yeah.
It's so fascinating because one of the things I would say, not Igor, but Sonny's pet peeve.
Yeah.
Igor's got the chewing thing.
Right.
It doesn't bother me
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah.
Some people get bothered by chewing. I don't know why. So one of the biggest things is that therapy became the reason why my life isn't bad. My life isn't good. Right. So you say, well, I have, this is the problem, therefore my life isn't good. Instead of, these are the things that caused all my problems, and therefore I need to do these things to fix them and then have a good life.
Right.
Instead of being a thing that gives you a reason to be sick more. Mm-hmm. So I definitely have had people that I've dealt with, and I'm like, the last thing you need in your life is therapy.
Right.
And all they want is therapy. They want 7 sessions a week. Mm-hmm. They want to keep plowing it away. And especially with addiction, a lot of people, it's like, you need to focus on the solution for a little bit.
Yes.
You need to go bowling.
Right.
You need to have a couple of friends. And a lot of people that go to meetings will say the best part of meetings is the coffee afterwards.
Right.
That we're just sitting around and having a good time. And we're shooting I'm not going to say it. We're having a good time. Bleep. We're having a good time, and but that's living. So
right.
it's like there's so many people that are over therapized. Now, I don't think that's true for everybody. I think most people are living their lives, and they need a period of time. Especially me. I mean, I'm not running around telling everybody my emotions all day. If I go to therapy, it's a very, very sacred space where I could deal with it. So I definitely agree with it, but it's interesting because your solution is change up the therapy.
Right.
And it's not that I disagree. I'm not disagreeing, but I have a question. No, my question, I'm questioning is like, wouldn't it be better to just figure out how to convince people to have a life in therapy and then have the therapy remain the therapy?
Yes.
So is that what's happening? Is that the goal here? Am I saying that? I don't know. I feel jumbled saying that.
I think I get what you're saying, but I might be missing that last part. But let me put it like this: is that I have a very humanistic lens.
It's very hot in there. It's so hot in there. Air conditioning problem, guys.
Well, at least there's no rumbling in the mic.
Wait, before you answer, I've never done this on a podcast.
Okay, we got to do the fact.
I'm going to read the Snapple fact. In the U.S., a pig has to weigh more than 120 pounds before being called a hog.
Why only in the U.S.? What? Okay.
That's what it says. I don't ask. You don't ask Shiloh's on.
I know. I got very Gemara there for a second. Yeah.
Anyway, that was not a good Snapple fact for a Jewish podcast.
It was not. That's true. But
Talking about pigs and hogs.
But this episode is brought to you by Snapple. 0 sugar, all the taste.
This episode is brought to you by Hog's Head Vodka. It's not. This is recovery. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
It's a good product placement.
Boar's Head? Boar's Head.
Yeah. But not so appropriate.
When we were kids, we always had a Boar's Head vodka, big fat vodka in our freezer.
Boar's Head. They
I
make
think it was
vodka?
Boar's.
Yeah.
I think it was Boar's Head. I may be thinking.
Are you saying, is it Igor or Sonny? Who's talking?
Igor's father was the only Russian in his neighborhood who was not an alcoholic.
That's a great character bit.
That's
right. You build out characters, and that's how you do it. But
I love it.
It's so good. Character work is my
storytelling.
favorite type of improv. There's different focuses that people have in improv. I've always been a character-based improviser. I do characters and I deepen them and I work on how to make a character quickly. How do you identify who the character really is in one sentence, right?
Yeah.
Really? I'll give you an example. So,
Yeah.
a lot of people know my alter ego. I have an alter ego.
Okay.
His name is Marvin. He's an old guy who's very cranky. And for a while, I used to do Marvin in my shul on Simchas Torah and Purim and stuff, where he would just show up and just wreak havoc on everything, like the auctions. He would be there making comments and disrupting it. It was awesome.
Wait, did you dress like anything or just?
Yeah.
Oh.
Marvin has a whole getup.
Okay.
A whole getup. And so whenever Marvin enters the room, the first thing that comes out of his mouth has to be the most Marvin-y statement in the world, right? And so Marvin, just if you would like to meet him, and Marvin is, he doesn't. I don't understand what this whole thing is. You talk for like 5 hours, nobody's listening. It's to me, this is not work. I don't know if you think this is a profession, but this is nonsense. Can I ask you? Do you have a job? Do you do something? Do you work with your hands or something? Or?
No, people just give me money for this.
That's not true. There's no way that's true because this is nonsense. You see, when when I was younger, there was people who talked like as much as you do. We had a name for them, unemployed. That's what we called them. They didn't work. You would be fired. You work in a factory. I worked in a crayon factory for 95 years, and it wasn't 95 years, but you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, so Marvin, I bring him into
Is Marvin able to have conversations with people, or it's more like he's not listening to anybody?
So Marvin's character. So this is a lot. Like this is my deepest character. That's why I'm bringing it up. This is my deepest character. I could explain to you Marvin's entire world, and at one point I simplified it into one sentence, which is Marvin believes that nobody is listening to him, but he's still trying anyway.
Okay.
So, excuse me, you're being rude. Right now, you're being rude. I'm talking. And nobody was being rude to him at all, right? So he's like trying to assert himself back as like, you're going to listen to me, all right? Jimmy Carter, right? So Marvin, he's just very bitter because he's like, nobody listens to me. Nobody cares what I have to say, right?
And he does the exact thing that makes people not want to listen to him.
Exactly. He makes it worse for himself every single time. And somebody's trying to help him. And while they're trying to help him, he'll say, and nobody has helped me at all in this synagogue. Not one person brought me one of the prayer books, showed me what page we're on. And meanwhile, the guy is like trying to hand him, the prayer book. When Marvin comes into the room.
That's a little too close to home if you're working with addicts. Very close to home. Holy cow.
Oh man, it's so fun. It's so fun. And like the truth is like people have asked me like, is this like, are you okay? Like, are you normal? Is something wrong with you? And I'm like, when I'm doing Marvin, it means there's right with me because I'm loose and I'm playful and having fun. Right. People think it's like a dissociative like transportation to like some like alternate like alter. Right. I'm like, no, I'm having a great time and like I'm playing around, When one of the times on Simplest Torah when I brought him into the room, so they're doing the auctions and the guy's up there doing the goofy auctions or whatever. Marvin always comes in late, and when he comes in late, so he goes, "Would you guys start Kol Nidre already? I'm starving," right? That's so like when you get that line, Marvin, you know him. You're like, I know that guy. I've met that. I've seen that guy before, right? So like you can build a character. Igor could get built out. And then at a certain point, he almost becomes so real that if you put yourself in Igor and then you say one thing, everybody would know exactly, oh, Igor's here. And I know who Igor is.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess ventriloquists do this. I did when my kids were young. I created a series of books that I never wrote.
Yeah.
And my kids remember them like cold. And it was basically I created characters based on diagnoses from the DSM-4 at the time, but whatever, so DSM-3, I don't know where we were at the point, but I don't know how old my kids are. But it was characters that I knew,
right? But
very, very blown up, way out of proportion. Mm-hmm. So the main characters were Donkey and Camel.
Okay.
So Donkey and Camel. Donkey is this like impulsive, insane, like drug addict basically, who's like just going for the thrills and figuring it out. And his best friend on the planet has the most severe OCD, agoraphobia, like every type of phobia you can imagine. And the whole plot of everybody, and there's many more characters, but the plot of the book is that Donkey always figures out a way to get Camel, usually nefariously, to get Camel to come out and do something with him. Mm-hmm. And what ends up inevitably happening is that Camel becomes the hero of the whole story. Like he saves the day, he's the spy, and everything he's just terrified. He he's never intending to do anything good. He just wants to go back home. Like that's all he wants, and he becomes the hero. He's misidentified as a super agent, and he becomes a god. He does every single show, So I would tell these stories, but we got so deep in. We had different characters, a schizophrenic monkey that was always looking for his slippers, and it turns out to be a multimillionaire that ends up like it was all these different characters, and I could almost like tell us. But I got so deep in. I get it. It's storytelling.
Yeah.
At any point, and they had different voices, and so anyway.
Do you think that? I assume this was a while ago. Yeah. Do you think that if you randomly walked over to one of your kids and you said a line from one of the characters, they would know exactly who that character is that you're referring to, like today? You said it in the voice, or you said it, I don't know.
Yes, but it was so specific to like story time. So
what I'm wondering is if it got solid enough, the reality got solid enough that it could be triggered back from like one.
If I would say this is a thing, who did this? They would just say donkey or camel or whatever. And then and then I also did like the entire like story of the Torah with them in animal characters that they never knew it was the Torah.
That's awesome.
Like I just was telling the story of Moshe Rabbeinu being young and he was an animal and he was dealing with all this stuff, and like I just made the story as like this epic tale of all these characters, but they were all animals. And
see, you loved it.
I loved it.
Your kids loved it, but you loved it, right?
Loved it. And I never needed a preparation.
Right.
I would start the story. It would go through the same exact thing every single time, the same way. Donkey would come in and drug his best friend, like, and drag him out. And like
there were roofies in your
They
story?
were roofing each other, like whatever.
Yeah.
He would convince him to go fishing, and he wore a bubble around them. My favorite was that Camel, who's the anxious one.
Sure.
Camel had a wife who was so much more anxious than him that he like considered her crazy. Like she actually lived in like an attachment of the house. You never meet her, but she's referred to all the time.
So good.
And you never meet her, and she's really anxious.
Yeah.
So for Camel's the most anxious person you ever met, but there's someone else who's way more anxious.
God, I wanna see this.
Fantastic. I have to write him at some point.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Anyway, but I really get. You go so deep in.
Yeah.
These kids learned about all the diagnoses before they were like 6, 7 years old.
That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
Shiva la DSM.
Didn't work because they all got all the diagnoses. No,
Right.
well, they were like, "Is that how you do life?" No.
That's it. No, but like that's the improv energy. It's like, it's not just that you can do it. It's that you're like, you feel like a certain alive in it, right? Like, you know, you're recalling it and you're excited about the whole idea of it because it was an exciting, meaningful thing to you. You know what I mean? It touched on a different part of you. And that's what I like to, you know, aim for. And I don't even do it, honestly, because improv does it itself. Meaning like I really feel like a true facilitator when I teach improv. Like I'm facilitating something that once it's in motion, it's on its own. I just have to get them past the point where they're like, I can't do this, or I'm overthinking, da-da-da. Once I do get them there, then it's like they feel that feeling. That's theirs, and it's like, you take that with you. Wherever you go, that feeling is going to come with you, and it's a positive energy that, like, I don't know how you'll cash it in, but it's there to be cashed in.
Do you have any stories of people that like got the wild aha moments or something through improv, like that you can think of?
I have a few. I think like wild aha moments. Like sometimes there were like really valuable things that came out of it, which were like discussions for later. But like, you know, let's say an individual session processing, like in that scene, I saw you kind of like you were rejecting the other, you know, your scene partner's offerings, and like where were you at? Like how come? And we uncovered like a whole world of like, I don't like people who look like this, you know, and like I pushed them away, and it's like, that's very interesting. But the biggest aha moment that I can recall in an improv therapy moment was actually it was the first time I did it in a group, and I called it improv because I sprinkled in all team building or icebreakers or blah blah blah. But is after like 6 months of me doing it and starting to like research it, I brought it into my anxiety group, And so in my anxiety group, we were already doing a lot of like role play and personification. I had done this for a very long time where it's like we have somebody in the group play your anxiety and then you have a conversation with your anxiety, all that kind of stuff, right? But that day I was like, today we're doing improv. I don't know if you know what improv is, but this is what improv is. And we're going to do these scenes and it's going to be a way for us to challenge social anxiety. And right, fine. So there was a guy in the group who I'd worked with for a bunch of years who had like a multitude of disorders, and one of them was obsessive compulsive disorder that has like the like compounding nature to it, where he was doing compulsions when he was younger and his parents were yelling at him to stop. They didn't know better, but like it was so deeply entrenched in who he is, you know. And he had done exposure when he was younger, and it was painful and it was upsetting, and it's, you know, fine. He was doing a scene with my group facilitator, my co-facilitator. So the scene was like a driving instructor and a driving student, you know, and they're just doing the scene. And he at a certain point, he looks up at me, he's like, I'm blank, I'm stuck. I don't know. And like, I knew him well enough that I'm like, if he's saying that, like, it's going to be a while to bring him back from it. Cause this could be like an hour and a half that he's pacing around the office going like, I just got stuck. I don't know. I got stuck. And so I said to him, actually, so in improv, everybody's on the same team. And even if you're not in the scene, you actually are responsible to watch and see if your teammates are getting stuck. And if they are, you run out there and you tap them and you tap them out of the scene. So I said, I'm going to tap you out of the scene. And if at any point you want to come back in the scene, come back in, right? And so I sat down in the scene and I'm playing this character in the driving instructor scene. And I was like, there's no way this guy's coming back in the scene. It's going to be a long time. He tapped me out of the scene, like less than a minute later. And my co-facilitator after the group was like, you ever see him do anything like that before? And I was like, never. I think that he was having a good time while he was challenging his anxiety. I think he was having fun. And I think when he saw himself outside of the scene, instead of it being like, I should toughen up and re-expose myself to my anxious stimuli, like it was a different equation. I think he was like, oh, I was having fun. I want to go back in there. And he did the literal same thing that he would do if he was challenging his anxiety with exposure protocol. But there was the fun part of it. And it was like his spirit pulled him back in as opposed to like a clinical idea of like how I'm going to get over my anxiety. That's my favorite one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to get nitpicky.
Did
he take that into the world?
Yes. Yeah, he started hitting on girls all over the place. It was great.
That's great.
It's so great. I have people coming into my group and sometimes we'll check in at the beginning of the group. Like, I'll say like, how was your improvised week? You know, just like basically asking like, you know, where did you find yourself improvising this week? And when someone starts making progress, they're like, I'm hitting on so many girls now. I went over to this girl. I went over to that girl. And I'm like, awesome. Cause what were you doing before? You were just sitting there like going like, gosh, I wish I could talk to her, but she's too pretty. Like I walk over to her, I say hello to her. I don't know, she didn't want to go out with me. So I walked over to a different girl. Turns out there's more than one girl in the world. You know?
Matter of fact, there's 9 in the room. I asked them all.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, about that. You should probably stop asking everybody.
All right, you're getting too good at this.
Right, exactly. Now,
I did see with a coach, I was dealing with someone I was dealing with, and I loved it that the coach took him to a bar to practice hitting on a girl.
Yeah.
I was like, that's therapy.
Yeah.
I you know, like that's getting back to the professional helpers, the old social workers. Right. Like take into the bar, and not if they're in recovery.
Don't take them to the bar.
Not if they're in recovery.
Don't do that, but yeah.
Or if they're from, don't take them to the bar. So take them to the bar and then do that. Okay, that was different. That was exposure therapy, but it was. I love the support of it.
Yeah. So
also group cohesion. This could be amazing for group cohesion, like bringing everybody together.
Yeah, it's wild because I do corporate workshops, and when I do corporate workshops, I'm not trying to like make a therapeutic breakthrough with them, but corporate environments are really very much every man for himself. That's really, even if you're on a team, it's very every man for yourself because you want to keep your job, you don't want to get fired. There's a lot of pressure. Within an hour and a half, I get them like giggling together. And they're all like, this is wild. And I'm like, yo, this is just like regular human connection stuff. But like you work in a corporation, so you probably forgot about that. But like, yeah, the group starts to get tighter. because you learn to support each other. You stop like controlling everything and you start listening, and you're like, oh, this, you know what? You bring something interesting that I don't have. Like that's the biggest gift, I think, is that like I learned, because I was good at doing characters when I started. And I didn't go in with like a big ego where I was like, I'm the man and you guys are going to learn from me. But like I did have a certain part of me that was like, I'm very comfortable with this. And what I learned was you're not that comfortable because you're not letting go of control. Yep. One of my first characters that I did in my second or third class was, it was an acting instructor in the scene. And the acting instructor was, I'm almost embarrassed to say this because anybody who's like an improviser is like already cringing because they're like, don't do a teacher scene. Teacher scenes put you in control. Right?
Okay.
But it was worse than that. It wasn't just a teacher scene. It was a teacher scene where I was also changing the definition of what I considered acting in the middle of the class, which is funny. But but it also kept me in control of the entire scene.
Right.
Because I'd be like, acting, not acting. Right?
Right. See, okay. Yeah.
And like I look back on that now and I'm like, oh man, I was not ready, or I was just learning. I was like a baby with learning how to like really, really collaborate with people and listen to people and connect to people.
Are you able to? I act very chill. I even have like someone told me I remind them of Matthew McConaughey or like.
Oh, well, I hear that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, right.
There's like a running theory in the sober homes that I'm still a stoner. Like someone told me that recently. I'm like, what? What is that? What you think? Like, yeah, you're too chill. You're too chill. But I don't know if there's almost ever a time where I could get the control out of the way. What
do you mean? Like
I'm always in control. I have a very, like I could consciously say I'm going to catch this frog.
Right.
But just like losing a band. I tell you, the scene I am the most jealous of when I watch movies. There's a couple. One of them is the guy who just rips apart a room. Mm-hmm. Like what I was talking about with anger before.
Right.
But like the idea, I've watched guys throw a cell phone against a wall. Like I look at them and I'm like, oh, I wish I was you. Mm-hmm. That level of abandon, of rage. I know how unhealthy it is.
Right.
But I don't have it's not that I'm choosing not to do that. Mm-hmm. No, I just don't think I have the ability anymore to just wreck my life.
Right, right.
Wreck it.
Right.
So I find that amazing. Like I feel like when I go, I could go make lectures. I do make lectures, and a lot of people laugh. But the idea of going into like a stand-up comedy, which you brought up before, right?
Yeah.
Going in and doing a set and expecting laughter. Mm-hmm. And let's say bombing or that level of loss of control, I don't know that I have it. Like a scripted, like I could do a play easily. I could do a skit. But standing in front of people saying, these are my jokes.
Right.
This is the best I got. This is my best 5 minutes right here. And then they get to choose whether it's good or not. I don't know. Like I literally, while I'm saying this, and maybe it's because you're a therapist, I'm feeling a ball of nervousness in my stomach. Just the idea of doing it, which is hilarious in a certain sense, because I'm putting myself out there a ton.
Yeah,
on the podcast, I'm out there a ton,
right?
More than I've seen any other Jewish podcast.
Right.
No one shares anything,
right?
But the idea of like being judged like that and being out of control.
Yeah,
I made up a word: vulnerable.
Vulnerable. Oh, I love that. Like faux vulnerable.
It's fake vulnerable.
Oh my God, I've been explaining that in such a wordy way for so long.
Yeah.
You could have just texted me vulnerable. It would have saved me hours.
Yeah.
Oh
well, Kiwi loves it too. Loves it too.
That's awesome.
It's one of the I could come out and look like the most vulnerable person in the world because I know that's what you want from me, but it's fully in control.
So, okay, it's very interesting. Okay. I have so many thoughts on everything that you're saying. Oh my God.
Let's go.
I think that there's vulnerable, but then there's also, you're allowed to have comfort in certain spaces and not other spaces. That doesn't mean that you can't build comfort in the other spaces, but you could imagine that somebody who's on a podcast, wouldn't feel the same if, I don't know, like the most important person in the world was standing right there watching you film it. Like someone who is the most important person in the world to them. Like, I don't want to screw up in front of them.
Right.
If they're standing here, it changes the whole equation, right?
Right. I will say they are.
Who?
There's so many people listen.
No, I mean like
that
physically
person,
standing here. Like,
okay, go.
like with a clipboard. Like,
I need cognitive dissonance and no one's listening.
but that's what I'm saying,
Okay,
right?
yeah,
So I mean,
gotcha.
like you're comfortable in this, and then there's another variable if you were to do it in front of someone else or whatever, right? There's the variables of the different types of things that you would do. So like a friend of mine was telling me that he has a friend who's a drummer who plays all over the world or whatever, but he refuses to do anything on stage without the drum set in front of him. And the reason why is because he's
What does that mean?
Meaning that he would never want to be out in front of the stage. He would never want to be at a microphone. He would never play another instrument. I don't know if he does, but his view is that the drum set is a buffer between him and the audience, and that he's protected and he's safe, right? And I'm like, that's awesome. Meaning that like you can do that, and it is a risk, a social risk, but it's not like well, I'm not really risking anything because there's a drum set in front of me. Like, of course you are.
So you're saying there's a spectrum here
Yes.
that like it's not just vulnerable, it's like slightly vulnerable.
Yes. So
Or
I will
a
tell
little-
you. So this
okay.
is my thing with stand up, is that I was terrified to do stand up, even after improvising for a long time. And I felt the most validation from in Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, Jerry Seinfeld's show, when he had Tina Fey on and they were saying to each other, because Tina Fey is the legend of improv. Like, you look back in her career, she's an improviser from the start.
Okay.
They were saying to each other, I could never do what you do. Like, Tina Fey's like, I did stand up once. And like Jerry Seinfeld's like, I would never improvise. Like, they were saying it to each other, you know? So I felt validated in that. But I was confused by the fact that I literally can be on stage being a dog scooting around on the floor because he has an itchy butt. That was the moment I lost all shame.
Okay.
That moment. But when it comes to stand up, I was like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't imagine myself doing it. Right. And I think that the two variables are, one is that you're never alone when you're doing improv with a team. Right. So someone's got your back. And the other one is that improv has this like fail safe in it where it's like, if you screw it up, it's like, it's funny because you screwed it up.
Right.
Right. But if you're trying to tell jokes and you screw it up and now it's awkward and it's silent, what happens now? Right. The beginning of 2024, I made it one of my goals for the year to do stand up. I wrote it down in January to do stand up.
Okay.
I did it for the first time in May of 2024. Now I do it on a regular basis, but I still want to barf every time.
Really?
Yep. I could improvise in front of 1,000 people right now. And if you tell me to go to an open mic to do 10 minutes in front of 12 people, I will be like, nobody talk to me for the rest of the day.
Okay. So I'm feeling very validated.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like I could do improv.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have no problem. And like you said, this podcast is improv. Like, and there's a lot of funny things that happen on the podcast.
Right.
But stand up. So how did you do it? Okay. Let's get practical.
I had a breakthrough, and this actually,
hear.
you said something. I forgot exactly how you said it, but when you were saying, I don't know what I would say if I got up there. I would probably whatever. I had a breakthrough. I had it was one of the assistant teachers in my improv class was a stand up. It was her specialty was stand up, and so she was talking to us after class, and she said, every stand up is a character, and I'm comfortable with character work. So I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, it's not you, but it's a version of you, right? Meaning that if I got up there and I was like really angry about stuff that were happening in the world, that's a version of me because I'm not just that, right? So essentially what you want to do is you want to bring a character to the audience that the audience can know and they feel like they know that person. And then whatever that character says, then they're like, yeah, well, of course he would say that because that's him. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So when you say like, nah, I don't know if I could do the stand up or whatever, it would be bad or whatever. Like if you were to say that in your stand up and you were authentic about it, it would kill. It would kill. The room would think it was the funniest thing in the world.
Because that's the character.
Because that's you. It's a version of you, but it's a character that you're like hyper focusing on, and you're bringing them that guy. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That made it make sense to me because I was like, how do you write all these jokes and how do you essentially you go up there with kind of like an energy of like which version of you are you bringing here, and then you feed that energy and you teach the audience who you are, And that energy could be a guy who doesn't know how to do stand-up, which I did maybe 6-8 months ago, which is not my real personality or my stand-up energy, but I got on stage as a guy. I did it at an open mic to test it out. Put my hat forward.
Hat forward.
I put my hat forward.
Very not Judah.
Yeah, very not me. And I fiddled with the microphone stand as I got up there for like, I don't know how long it was. It felt like a long time. And I arranged my stuff. And then I didn't really look at the audience. And I started out by saying, I hate doing stand-up comedy, but I'm here because my therapist thought it would be a good thing for me to do. So, and then they started cheering me on. They started, you got this. They felt the character, right? They're like, you can do it. Then I took a balloon out of my pocket and I started like blowing it up slowly. And I actually heard in the recording somebody go, what is he doing? I blow it up all the way. And then I kind of like turned to them and I'm like, my therapist taught me this relaxation technique to blow up a balloon anytime I'm stressed. And it actually really helps and it really calms me down. And as I'm talking, I pop the balloon and I'm just staring at the ground. And then I'm like, that was my last balloon. And I just kept staring at the ground. And I was getting laughs for all this stuff because it was so freaking weird, but it was consistent.
Very Tim Robinson.
Oh, bro. Yeah. But it wasn't comfortable to me. It actually was very uncomfortable.
You were uncomfortable.
Yeah, but the reason why I did it was because earlier that day I knew I was going to go to an open mic and work on some material. I wanted to. I kept saying as I was writing it, I was like, I hate this. I hate doing stand-up. I just want to do improv. And then I was like, if I hate stand-up so much, that's very authentic to me. Like I'm going to go up there and be a guy who hates doing stand-up. And I'm doing it because it's good for me.
Okay.
Right? And it worked. I actually then had the next bit was that I called my therapist and I kept him on the line. And I put my phone down and then I did my jokes, but then I would pick it up every few minutes and be like, I don't think they liked that last joke, and just keep it going.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great 5 minutes.
You know who does this? A woman who used to do this. Forgetting her name. She used to turn around and talk to do self-talk.
Yeah.
She was also a social worker originally.
Oh, okay,
What's her name?
I don't know.
She has dark hair. She's a Jewish woman. She's actually from New Jersey originally. She's amazing. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway.
So meaning you have a fully formed character. You would just You would just have to basically get to the point where you're comfortable that you're let's say you're bad at it, or that like it doesn't make sense, or that you're a contradiction, that you can do this but you can't do this, and then you speak all that stuff out loud. You could be like, you can say like,
that's interesting.
I'm I do all this stuff all the time, but like I don't know, I probably suck at this. No, okay, maybe I don't know if I suck at it, right? Like you just kind of like speak out your reality.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Because I always come off as ridiculously confident. Mm-hmm. So it's really
that's funny.
Yeah. So
being both at the same time, meaning like when you were angry and smiling.
Yeah.
Right. That's funny because it's weird. It's contradictory, right?
Right.
So like if you came out super confident and then the words you were saying were just like, I'm not confident at all.
Right.
Like that's weird. I like that. That's a good starting point.
All right. Well, okay. Well, so I like the way you did it. My brother had to do a roast.
Okay.
Another brother. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know my brother Shim.
No.
But he's another brother. And they were roasting each other, friends. I thought it was hilarious. Mm-hmm. But he called me for some ideas, and it was a lot of fun. I wrote some great material. He put a lot out there. And my son also wrote some material for him. So he had this great roast. And I will tell you, a part of me came out that I was like, put that away.
Why?
I was so mean.
Oh, okay.
The level, I have a part of me that is so mean that never comes out. I'm always nice.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I could open my mean box? And I just went, I was like, that stuff is really mean.
Yeah.
And he put that stuff in. He was like, I like that. That's
This is gold.
That's so mean. I was like, I'm the nice social worker writing the meanest stuff. Anyway.
No, but that mean side, like I know that because like I believe it or not, believe it. I mean, I totally mentioned it. I have a lot of anger. I was very angry when I was younger, and it's relatively new to me to be like mildly angry about something. Like I'm kind of pissed about. Like my friend said to me several years ago in one of my videos, he's like, I like how you're low key pissed. And I'm like, I like that. I like low-key pissed. It's relatively new to me.
No, I'm relating to that so much
Yeah.
because I almost treated anger like an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have, like a process addiction, let's put
Yeah.
it that way. Like an eating addiction. Like, how do you tell someone whose coping mechanism was food
Right.
to eat but healthy?
Right.
It's like it's nearly impossible. It's
Right.
like, so that's when people come in with sex addiction or eating addiction or any other process addictions, codependency, you're like, okay, I need you to have a relationship,
Right.
but don't be codependent with that person.
Right.
You're like,
But love them.
that's my whole
Right. That's my thing.
way. That's my thing.
Right.
So like drug addicts have it the best.
Right.
You're like, don't do drugs anymore. You're like, oh, I can do that.
Okay.
I could literally live the rest of my life and never do drugs. But telling me that I could be a little angry
Right.
is crazy.
Yeah.
So I do love the idea. And I will tell you, if I get a little angry, oh my God, my kids, like, they don't know what to do. Like the other day I got a little upset, and this was embarrassing because, again, I'm embarrassed, but I asked specifically someone to do something in the family, and like they just spaced out and did the opposite. But I never ask. Like I like try to avoid asking so that I don't have to, like, maybe I should have get more used to that. And I actually got angry. Like I was, and like I'm telling you, my daughter's been walking on. It wasn't her I was angry at, but she's been walking on eggshells around me. Like, oh my God, when's he gonna blow again?
Right.
And I'm like, I've been angry one time in your entire life. like this is what does it. Like I wish you would have been like, oh yeah, you can be angry sometimes.
Right.
But no one does that.
Right.
It's like, what just happened?
Right.
And I'm like, oh no, don't confirm that I'm not allowed to do this anymore.
Right.
It was really a crazy situation.
Yeah.
And I have a clip that did really well on the idea of how anger is our greatest emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Anger is the one emotion that doesn't have a second of belief that you're not worthy.
Right.
It says, stand up.
Cool.
That guy gets to treat me
Right,
that
right,
way.
right.
So like the Torah says this idea that like, or the rabbis say this idea that like anger is like avodah zarah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I believe it's like an idol because you're worshiping yourself.
Right.
At that moment, there's no God.
Right.
There's no other people. I am more important than everybody in the whole world. How dare you cut me off?
Right.
Every other emotion I have is like, am I allowed to be in this room? I could be. I'm so sad. I'm so miserable. And anger is none of that.
Right.
And I always say, and especially working with sober living, until I see anger, the real healing doesn't happen.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that 100%. Yeah.
It's your like internal life coach. It's like,
Yeah.
go. You're the best. Go
Right.
out there. The world was created for you.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a part of me that's just not there. So it's just, anyway.
So no, it's really interesting because like I was like the way I was raised, and I think it's a lot to do with like who I am, like whatever you want to call it, genetically or spiritually or whatever, is like I'm the type of person that anger is not far away from me. It's not difficult for me. Like I've actually, in angry compliments, I've had people like get like uncomfortable when I'm clearly playing around, because anger is very easily accessed for me. And so like other people are like struggling to make an angry, persona when they're saying the compliment. And I'm like, angry. Yeah, of course I got anger. So for years and years, I can remember when I was in Israel and I was learning in yeshiva where I started to view anger as a drug. I remember that when I was like viewing it like I'm an addict and like I need it, right? And obviously there's the downside to that, because it's like there's, this isn't a substance that you could stay away from. It's life is frustrating and it's complicated, right? But I was like committed to working on it. I was committed, like I'm not going to be rageful. I'm not going to be that guy, because I knew it too well and it did too much harm to me and all that. I think that there was a point in time where I thought I had gotten through more of it, but then realizing that I still kind of like keep it in the safe. Like I have a gun in the safe. Like I don't carry a gun and point it at people, but in the event of something going down, I got something for you. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh God, I can open the safe.
I can open the safe now.
I know how to open it.
Yeah. And so the next step for me, and I'm nowhere clear of all, of anger. But the next step for me was being able to be allowed to be angry about something and laugh at it at the same time. And that's been the most freeing thing for me, because sometimes I'll do stand up and I'll talk about a topic that if you get me on the wrong day, I'll just start ranting about it and I'll be really mad about it. But I'm not saying I can't talk about it because it makes me too angry. I'm saying, like, it's something that's stupid. Like, that's something like I'll say on stage, and I'll say it with that energy. I'll be like, okay, let me tell you the dumbest thing in the world, right? And like, if I would have done stand up 10 years ago, it would have been like, and another thing that's dumb is this, right?
Yeah, you're just on a rant.
Yeah.
Well, Bill Burr can make it funny.
Bill Burr can make it funny, but he also he
Louis
makes
Black,
himself
man.
right. Louis Black, Bill Burr, angry comedians are in order for it to work, they have to be mocking themselves while they're angry.
Right.
Otherwise, the audience is like, I'm not here for this shit. Like, go talk to someone else. Like, why are you yelling at me? But like when Bill Burr's like, I'm so fucking angry sometimes. I don't even fucking know. My wife is like he's clearly making fun of himself. You know what I mean? Like, if you're full on angry as a performer and a comedian or anything like that, your audience is going to turn on you in a second.
You don't go full anger.
No. You might be that angry, but your character has to be, this is a ridiculous part of me. I'm ridiculous because I'm this angry. And you want to know how ridiculous I am? I got angry yesterday, right? Like Louis Black being like, this guy in the car.
Well, it's hilarious because I'm assuming you do some IFS work also. I don't know, because a lot of the character work is my characters, when I do IFS for myself, all my characters are absolutely fascinating. They're amazing characters.
Yeah.
I love them, and I love that my imagination can come up with them. But once in a while, I'll have an emotion that's like a really serious emotion, and it will crack me up. Like another part of me is laughing at that emotion.
Right.
Like, that's hilarious how serious you take yourself now.
Yeah.
I do that a lot with, guys in recovery, and they're talking really seriously about their stuff. I'm like, is there a little piece of you that looks at this now and realizes how hilarious it is?
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to take away your emotions, but there's something funny here. And I find, for me, it's really helpful to laugh at my own stuff.
Yes.
So I think the cool thing about IFS and what you're talking about is that all the characters are true.
Yes.
And they're all there at all the same time.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I got actually from parts work more than anything was the realization that there is never a time that one of my characters is not in play.
Right.
So I don't know how it works in improv.
Yeah.
But everybody on stage is part of it, even if they're not talking right now.
Yes.
So they're all, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So stand-up being different than improv, where stand-up, you're building a character and you're playing a character, a version of yourself. Even if it's a part of yourself, you're highlighting that part of yourself, right?
Right.
The thing with improv is that since you didn't plan anything and you're really going off of like what is being exchanged interpersonally, you show up the way you are on that day in that moment. Now, if you're going through something which is like messing you up, so then but that's like extreme in a way that like you're using the scene for your own issue. So then you got to you got to work that out. You can't take the scene and be like, I'm mad about a bunch of stuff, so like everything is going to be about how I'm mad, right? Because then you end up controlling everything. But let's say you're in a place where you're going through absolute hell, but you have the improv skill enough to be able to just, still yes and still work together with your teammates. I found the most interesting experiences are days when I'm really going through something terrible, but I'm still willing to be open in improv, and I found a new part of myself. And sometimes I found like the best improv I've ever done. I remember the Thursday after October 7th. So my class at the time was on Thursday nights, and I was like, should I go to my improv class? I spent the whole Monday crying with all of my clients. It was everybody it was the horror of horrors, but I didn't expect to cry the whole day with every client that came in. Like I thought like it would vary, but like it was just like one session after another. It just broke it open. And I have group on Monday night, and we got to group and we were talking about it in group. This was a wild moment. This is a tangent. It was a wild moment. I was sitting in group, and everybody was talking about it, and it was like halfway through the group, and one of the group members looked over at me and he said to the rest of the group, guys, we should check in on Yehuda because he looks like he's not doing okay. I was not. And it was a really beautiful moment, but like I was struggling tremendously. And so Thursday night, I wasn't sure, like, should I go to improv? Is it good for me? Am I up for it? Is it the right thing to do? And I ultimately made the decision to go. Also, we had a show coming up and I had to rehearse too, whatever. I went with no expectations because I was like, I'm not expecting myself to do good improv tonight. I'm devastated. We're devastated. Like, I killed it that night. Like every scene I was in, I was like freaking hilarious. You could explain it a million different ways, but the bottom line is I showed up who I was, and that guided what I did that night. And it was like authentic, and I think it worked because it was authentic. I think that's what ended up happening. You understand what I'm saying? But like, you don't need to be in a good, fun headspace to do improv. You just need to be in an open space where you're still working with the other people there. And you can be in like literally going through hell, but like, you're like, I respect you and I respect what you add to the scene. I'm showing up as me, and this is me today.
Have you ever found characters that really surprised you inside yourself?
In what way?
I'm just saying, like, yeah. I recognize that the speed of it makes you not think so much into like the building. It's just happening. So have you ever like hit a character that's like really insecure or really like you tapped into a part of you that's maybe tucked away or you didn't even think you had? You ever had anything like that?
I don't think so, because
I think I'd be doing that all day.
Well, but at a certain point, you actually end up like making very similar characters because you are you.
Right.
You can make changes to them, but like my friends make fun of me. We all make fun of each other because we know exactly what our improv like crutches are, so to speak, or what I have a character, a little kid character, that is like basically like he knows too much. And he says too much, like, are you still mad just because you got divorced and you're like still in that custody battle? Is that why you're giving us a pop quiz today? Like that kid shows up like all the time, right?
Right.
That's me. But that's like a me character. You know what I mean?
It's you actually saying.
That's, yeah, I know, right? Marvin is me. I have like, I have a character that, this is recent, is a punching bag. That like everybody on my team knows, if Judah starts doing this character, we have to abuse the crap out of him. So like a character who they never let him speak.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like kind of like a codependent character. It's like
No. It's like a guy like, well, it's a little bit of a Tim Robbins character, but essentially it came out in one of our performances. We were in a meeting in the scene, and the person running the meeting, who's going to take the minutes? And then someone else, not me, said, I'll take the minutes. And I started saying it as she was saying it. And then I go, you never let me do anything. And everybody on my team knew, all right, we're never going to let this guy do anything.
That's hilarious.
And so then I would start talking, and they'd be like, yeah, okay, you told us that already, Jimmy. And then it cut to, this was the greatest moment. Jimmy as a kid meeting with his grandfather, and his grandfather goes, Jimmy, I can't be your grandfather anymore. Why not? You're just terrible. And I'm like, oh, man. 2 days later, my daughter said to me, because she came to the show, she's 8, she goes in the car on the way to camp, they were really mean to Jimmy. They're so mean to Jimmy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It was terrible, but she knew it was Jimmy. Right?
That was Jimmy.
Yeah, it was Jimmy.
Why are they so mean to Jimmy?
They're so mean to Jimmy.
I invented a doll. I haven't done it.
Yeah.
My wife has a business. She actually invents things in China. I should get her to do my stuff, all my ideas. But
God, yeah.
She's pretty cool with this stuff. But I don't do it. I just think of the ideas and then I put it on the podcast and hope someone in the world does it so I could buy it. I don't really want it. I just want to go on Amazon, pay $12.99 for this thing.
Right.
Somebody please make this. It's a codependency doll.
Okay.
So the codependency doll, it's a doll, and when you throw it against the wall, and it says, "I'm sorry." That's the whole
That's
doll.
brilliant. That's literally brilliant.
That's the whole
Oh my
doll.
God, that's so. I would buy that doll in a
Right.
second.
Somebody make it, please.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
And that's a character.
That's a character.
That's a character.
So I thought that was a character. You say like, this one is just.
No, so right. So,
different.
but that's a character that would come out of you.
Right.
And the beauty of it is that if we were in a scene together and you started coming out with that character, so I would be like, all right, Sonny's cooking right now. So let me support this character. So if I saw that like you did something right or someone did something wrong to you and then you apologized, I might be like, let me push that button again. Like this would happen in my mind in the scene. Let me push that button again. I'm gonna knock the textbooks out of his hand. Boom. I'm like, pick it up. And then you go, I'm so sorry. As you're picking it up, I'm like, all right, so this is the guy. I know this guy, right? And so then we make compliments to each other, make characters that play off of each other nicely, right?
Nice.
But you would have come up with that. That's not for me to come up with.
Right. So
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. So okay, let's say you get home. You're with your wife. Does this make you like listen better? Like that's like or I'm trying to see how this works. No, I love it. I'm just like you listen to your kids. Do you ever like tap into a place for you because that's what your kid needs now?
Yeah.
I'm sort of saying it.
Yeah. No, it's
Less
definitely-
personal if you say kids.
That's true. That's true.
Hey, don't mess with my marriage, bro.
No, it's on you. You love your wife. We know that.
Yeah, I've been very open about that.
I've heard. No, it absolutely does. It absolutely
good to love
does.
your wife.
It is good to love your wife. I love my wife. It's good to love. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe don't start a goddess worship cult. That's I get flack for that one, but
I haven't started that
everybody's
yet.
got to have a god, man.
That's true. That's true.
Got to have somebody. All right.
It helps.
Now we're
It
going
helps.
to blasphemy.
Yeah, well, we could do that too. It helps. Well, because a big part of listening in improv, like you get trained to like really like look at the person and really like see what's coming off of them affect wise, right? The whole communication, not just the words. The words are like the smallest part of it. Because sometimes somebody could say something and then they could pump their eyebrows at the end of it and you're like, oh, okay, so they're sinister. And they could do it really small and the audience might not have seen it, but you see it. So your response fits in perfectly. And then the audience is like, damn, they just made that up on the spot. But really I was just looking for all of your cues. So communicating with family members, with, friends, if I lock in, or sometimes I lock in without noticing I locked in, which is amazing. It's really from improv. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. One of my teammates she gives us a really hard time. She has a very high standard for us locking in. She'll be like, you didn't see what I was doing there. You need to pick that up next time. I'm like, yes.
That sounds pretty intense.
Yeah, but we're all intense. It's awesome.
You all intense?
Oh, we're nuts. Yeah, we're nuts.
Wait, so first of all, are you doing this in front of audiences also? I thought it was mainly classes.
No, performing too.
And then you like asked the audience a place.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Family Guy with the
When they do improv with Quagmire?
No. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
that's
Family
such a
Guy.
good one.
Ted. The uncomfortable.
No, but someone said to me yesterday, I've never seen it.
Oh my God, it's so amazing.
I have to watch
wish I had a screen and
Yeah.
just play it. Well, I probably would. They're like, you want to go do improv and this, they basically, let's go. You want to go to improv and say uncomfortable scenes? They're like, what's a place? The Holocaust.
So I have a friend
Charlie
who did that.
Hebdo. they're like giving scenes. It's like, anybody else?
I have a friend who did that. I won't say what he said, but it was before he knew what improv was. He just came to a show because his friend was in it. And they said, well, a suggestion for the audience. And I can't say what he said, but he yelled it out. And the whole place was like, oh my God, what the hell? No, there's a Family Guy where Quagmire gets into improv.
Oh, really?
Did you ever see that? It's so good. Because Quagmire's just like, he's like, no, I'm really doing it. It's great. We're doing it. Okay, just follow me. Okay, this one's called Go Bananas. Go Bananas, go. It's great. So he's trying to teach him a warm-up, right? Like one of those cheesy warm-ups.
Right.
But Peter gets stuck on the idea that he won't let go of it, right? So every time it comes around to him, he goes, Thanksgiving. Like, no, Peter, you have to say something else. He's like, Thanksgiving. John Wayne at Thanksgiving. It's so good.
That's pretty great.
And then Peter gets into it. He gets into it and he's like, no,
Peter
I'm
makes
into
it
this
his
now.
life, probably.
And then he becomes famous and whatever. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. Yeah. But it's so good because it's like, it's exactly what happens when you're like, I have an idea, but then this other person is blocking me from doing that idea. Well, in improv, you learn, let go of that idea. I don't care if it was the best idea in the world. It doesn't apply anymore because the moment's gone. Let it go. If you try to steer
is this something that's going to be spreading around the world, or it's like, because I never heard of it before. Is it happening in other places?
So it's very interesting that you asked that, because it's been around for a very long time. But when I started it, doing it on a regular basis a few years ago, I started seeing it popping up more places, and I was like, maybe it's just a recency bias, like whatever, right? I saw it in a book. I kept hearing, like, I see these segments on TV of like a teacher that does improv comedy with it, right? And I've asked other people if they are seeing it more, and a lot of them anecdotally have said, yes, I have. This is my theory. My theory is that we are getting tired of filmed content, right? That you can literally see anything, and with AI, you can see even more of anything. My friend's daughter, who's 13, said, she said, I could see a man jumping into a volcano, and I'd be like, next. That's what she said, like on her own, you know? When you see people improvising in real life, the humanity of it and the imagination of it is something that we don't get from our phones and we don't get from screens. And I think that people are more and more attracted to it because they're like, I want to feel connected to what I'm being entertained by, not just like, next.
It's fascinating.
I think that...
Well, that's why reality shows have been killing it.
Right.
When I talk about like having television today, it's for two reasons. Reality shows and sports.
Right.
I can't think of any other reason to have cable television today.
Right.
So everything else, you can watch all the movies, you can watch, but reality shows have not gone.
Right. That's true.
People, they're filling up. Yeah, so I guess that's a form of improv. Although,
and I think podcasting is another proof to that.
Yes.
Right? Like 3 hours. Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. 3 hours.
He's going into the character. What are you doing with yourself? This is how you spend your day?
That's right.
You could be fishing.
That's literally anything else. This is nonsense. What's his name? John Rogan, that idiot. It's 3 hours. What the hell? But like, I couldn't believe it a few years ago when I saw like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Holy crap. But like, I think people are like, yeah, we just want humanity. We just want like people talking to each other. I don't want a 45-minute show where everything explodes and everything is like crazy and exciting, because it's kind of like, well, it's not real. We know it's not real, and we're seeing too much of it. Like, I just want two guys sitting on a couch talking to each other.
What you're saying is so true, because it's not the reason I made the podcast, but it's definitely in there, is that when people ask, what kind of podcast you like, because I love podcasts, it's always just conversational. I have no idea what they're going to be talking about. Two very interesting people just talking to each other.
Yeah.
They could be talking, and Joe Rogan is like the king, where he's talking about, like, I don't know, vitamins. I don't care about vitamins.
Right.
I don't care about vitamins.
Exactly.
But he's talking about vitamins to a guy who doesn't even know about vitamins. You know, like he's just like, he's off on his thing. And then this guy's talking about metaphysics. I don't know what he's talking about.
Right.
It's just that these two phenomenal people that have been thinking a lot. And I get to like be a fly on the wall and like watch that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of I shouldn't knock Jewish podcasts. I have a hard time listening to Jewish podcasts because it's like, you're going to be inspired now.
Yes.
You're going to be, but it's not just like, take an inspiring person and have a conversation with them would be different for me. Like I haven't seen a podcast that's similar to the ones I like in the Jewish world. So that's kind of like, but I think it's what you're saying is that it's just real, genuine connection.
Yeah.
We walked into this conversation. All I know is improv. And now I know about your horrible childhood. No,
right.
I'm just kidding. Sorry, Mom and Dad. No, I don't know.
No, I have a bit about, I go by Juda, but my name is Yehuda, right?
Right.
And my bit is, Judah is the shortest distance you can travel away from your Jewish heritage. Meaning I didn't change my name to like Tyrell.
Right.
You see someone named Judah, you're like, oh, he hates Hashem. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't hate Hashem. But you know what I'm saying? Like Judah. Okay, Judah. We'll call you Judah now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Yeah, he had a rough child. He didn't do so well in yeshiva. Let's just say that. Judah? Okay.
I will say, you know what the most Jewish name of all time? this goes along with this.
Is it an
Sam?
English? Sam, really? Oh,
Have you ever met a non-Jew named Sam? Sam is like wearing a baseball cap at the Yankee
That's
game.
right. That's
where
right.
where they're like, oh, he's for sure not Jewish. Yeah.
Right. Sam, you could like
It's
is
like
a
your
common
name is Shmuel Betzalel.
That's right.
Oh,
that's
my
right.
brother's
Shmuley.
name.
Yeah. Some people call me Sam. Yeah. But Sam, really, for me, it's Sam. Yeah.
So it's like Judah is like, there are no Judas. You're Jewish.
One of the actors on 30 Rock, Judah Friedlander.
Right.
He's the guy who wears the baseball cap. Ironically, Judah wearing a baseball cap. Right. The first time I remember I saw his name in the credits, and it's like Judah Friedlander. I'm like, I might have gone to yeshiva with that guy. Right? Like,
You probably did.
Judah Friedlander. That's right.
Well, I like the Ari Shafir just kept it.
He just kept it. Right.
He's like, yeah, I'm Ari.
Yeah, Ari Shaf, and like
What?
his last name is clearly a Jewish last name, right?
It's like-
it's not like his name was like Ari like Smith or something like that. It's like
Right.
Ali Shafir. It's you know what I'm saying? Like it's all there, right?
I think you ever see Renan Hirschberg?
No,
I got to get him on the pod.
no, I don't.
Oh my God, he's one of the funniest comedians of all.
Yeah,
time. Yeah, he's not huge yet,
right.
but I think he's huge because I love everything he does.
Yeah,
Plug Renan.
Renan.
Get on my pod, man. He's also in recovery, so I
that's
got to
awesome.
talk to him.
Yeah,
A lot of people are like, why are you having comedians on your podcast? I'm trying to tell people, I just want the conversations.
right. But I heard you say that on your podcast, but I also think like therapy and comedy are right next to each other.
Right. So you're like,
Yeah.
you're actually making it work.
I'm making it work.
That's why I had you on.
Yeah.
So I could explain all my
Right.
ridiculousness. I have a funny thing because when I came in, when you mentioned, it's hard for me because you mentioned like Kiwi, like the class.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why I'm determined to not be that guy.
Which guy?
The like
doctor guy?
the deep doctor intellectual. I get degrees. I don't hang up my things. I don't like. I have all the stuff. I'm helping more people than like most people on earth, you know, and I still want to be just a guy.
Right.
So I haven't really gotten to the bottom of it yet.
Right.
But I refuse to use big words.
Oh, I'm like that too.
And
I don't know if I did, but
I just think that everybody, it's like too high on my. But you bring it up, and I'm like, there's a little urge in me. My mother was a very intellectual, like a very big intellectual, and she had like really big words. Like we grew up with like words that no one heard about.
Okay.
Be like, thanks for bringing the cups. That was real peripheral thinking.
No.
Like no one ever says that.
I don't know that
And
anyone says that.
I don't even know if it's a real thing.
It's not.
Well, look at him being egocentric, and you're like, what the heck? And I was like coming to school using these words, and it was our whole childhood. My mother was a big intellectual, so I was like, you know, the performance come from somewhere,
Right.
So I think that's part of my rebellion is that I'll say something intellectual and then make a joke about a nose and the same
Right.
thing. Anyway, I don't know.
Well, it's so
Maybe.
interesting because I remember your brother talking about his journey with a doctorate degree, and I know that he talked about it more recently on your podcast too, and that was a really cool episode. I really enjoyed that. You know, you guys together, and so I'm actually finishing my degree, doctorate degree, in a couple months.
Nice.
Which is yeah. It's wild. The whole thing is nuts. But I reached out to your brother when I was considering doing it, and because I remember his vulnerable disclosure to our class, and that he has shared in several places about like, did I really do it just for the recognition and the name? But then again, it also it opened certain doors for me, and I grappled with that a lot when I was like leading up to it. And the craziest thing is that my original intention for starting it no longer exists, because when I started it, I was hoping to teach more in the university and make some sort of like a stable living from having that kind of job, and now I'm here doing comedy. Right. And like I've like pretty much hitched my wagon for the foreseeable future to doing improv, doing comedy, doing corporate workshops, being out there, right? And so like, what's the value now? Like, damn it, I could have just been a comedian, right? But I think about it like, for me, I have to like remind myself as I'm trying to freaking finish it. For me, it was the proof against everybody who said I wasn't going to make it. And not that I have to stick it to them, because I joke and I say that I already made T-shirts with my degree on it, and I'm just going to go around and shake every Rebbe that I had, just shake their hand and be like, good Shabbos, I don't need to stick it to them. That's where this is like my low-key pissed thing. I'm not as angry as I would have been in the past, where I would have been like, you thought I was going to be nothing. The worst is, by the way, when they say like, I always knew, Yehuda, I always knew. I don't need to stick it to them. But the real meat of it was that I don't need to look at who did this or why they did it or if there was intentions or whatever, but I was left with a belief that I'm bad at bad at academics.
Right.
And this has already shattered it, and when I finish it, it will be the full death of that belief. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't think it will, but I'm sorry.
No.
But I get the thinking.
No, but now I need to explain it, though.
He's like, oh, you just got one doctorate? No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, well, I hear you.
No, I don't. I think
the full death of it because
Kiwi talks about this. Like he really needed it for his self-esteem. Like I need this.
Yeah.
I think it works.
But it's not like self-esteem. Like I'm not that's my point.
Right.
Is that like years ago would have been like, this is how I'm gonna get value. I'm like, if for some reason like the university system disappeared, I would still have value, and I would feel very similar to how I do now. It would be a loss, but it wouldn't. You know what I mean? But it's the fact that I did it.
Yeah.
And if no one ever knows about it ever again, it'll still be there. I did this thing, which they told me directly and indirectly for my entire childhood. This is just not you. You're never going to do anything like this. People laughed in my face. Like I can recall times where I said, I'm going to be a psychologist when I grow up. And people laughed.
Really?
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not, idiot.
Well, there's something true. I want to create another one of my ideas.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you. Okay. I want to create this idea. You ready? The idea is that I start an organization, totally nonprofit. No one's making any money. And we go into every 4th, 5th grade class, and we tell every kid that they are not going to make it.
Okay, this is great so far.
Yeah. Because everybody that really did great in life, someone told them that. Can you imagine if a
this
kid...
This is a bit. This should go in your stand-up. You see what I'm saying? This is a bit.
Right.
This is great. Yeah.
So imagine a kid could have been the next Einstein, but no one told him he's an idiot.
Right.
I'm just saying for the greater good.
This is so good.
This is what we have to do.
You have to write this down. Because then in comedy...
I don't think anybody's going to get that. No, you get it, but it's like too cerebral. Is that funny?
Not at all. Not at all. You just have to set it up properly. But then you can milk that, because there's a concept in comedy called if this is true, what else is true?
Right.
And that's how you hit something over and over and over again. You deepen it. If this is your approach to like building up kids, right? What else do you do to build up kids, right?
Right.
If it's all through hardship that they're successful, like, do you trip them in the hallway? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you like insult them on their physical appearance, or like, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe kidnap their father.
Right? Like you
they need some abandonment issues.
If
you really want to get a good relationship.
That's great. Then you have the issues that need to be checked off in order for them to be successful.
Right.
You're like,
you get the full package if you want.
He has low self-esteem, and socially he's struggling, but he doesn't have abandonment issues. So let's get on that. Maybe you have a team now, and you're like, let's get on that. All right, Jim, you're good with abandonment issues, so befriend him. Make him believe that you're a part of his life, and then just disappear.
Right.
Okay, so you got like 3 weeks on that.
Also make him fail a bunch of tests right in a row.
That's right.
So, well, it's funny you said that with meeting the rabbis. I have one embarrassment. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anything I'm saying is serious anymore. I'm thoroughly enjoying this conversation. I have one embarrassment, which I don't know if people... I had at one point in my life, I got so angry at a rabbi that I made a shvua, which is very ironic.
Yeah.
That I will never be from, and it's his fault.
Oh. That's part of the shvua.
That's a shvua.
But that it's
But
his
I
fault.
made a shvua.
Right,
and
right.
it's because of you.
Right.
I will not be from. I am done with from. And it's because of you, because of what you just did. So whatever, I got kicked out of school because of that. Whatever. Because of the language I was using to say thus shvua. So, anyway, I feel like if I bumped into the level of shame I would have that I'm from today, it's total shame.
Would you have to do something real quick, not from, to like?
I feel like I'd have to like take my helmet off immediately if I met him. It's my only shame that I walk around with that I'm from. I lied. I lied.
It's so.
I have
it's
values.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so backwards. It's awesome.
It's so backwards. It's
so
amazing.
backwards, yeah.
But I really dread ever bumping into him.
That's awesome.
I dread it because all the other people I've forgiven,
Right.
But this one I'm living out the thing I promised I wasn't good. I'm
Right,
like, wait,
right.
who is this guy?
Oh, I always knew, Sonny. I always knew.
He didn't even. Anyway.
You know, and on your episode with Zach.
Yeah.
Allen,
Oh my gosh, you actually did research.
I researched. I'm very serious.
I love it.
Yeah, no. So that one I got really into. Like I was jumping around to feel it out or whatever, but because we don't know each other before this, so I was like, I got to get to know him a little bit, But that one I listened. I got really into it. And you were trying to explain in that episode how it was that you couldn't do the half Judaism thing. I forgot how you said it.
I didn't get to remind me.
But the idea that a bunch of years ago or whatever, 20 years ago, like you were either in or out. Right. You were off the derech or you were learning, but you couldn't do I like to have Shabbat meals, and then I like to, right?
Never.
There was no such thing. There was absolutely no such thing. And I'm from that generation where there was no such thing. And I have this in my Jewish material when I do, for Jewish crowds, stand up for Jewish crowds, is I talk about how I was bad at going off the derech. That I sucked at it.
Why?
Well, because I never really did it. I never really was able to do it. I was always I was rebelling, but in these weird ways. It was I put on tefillin at 3:00 in the afternoon. That's my big rebellion, right? So you know what I'm saying? I never really went for it. And there's reasons why I never really went for it or whatever. But I do like to joke around about it, where it's I basically build this character of a guy who's trying to rebel against Judaism, but doesn't know how to do it. And so but sometimes he also is still from, so he goes too far with fromness,
Right.
So on Tisha B'Av, you're not supposed to say hello to people. You're not supposed to greet them.
Right.
And I wanted to do well. But I want to do it really well. So I'd go over to people and I'd be like, go fuck yourself.
I love that. That strikes me of the Vera song. You know
right.
that?
Yes. Same concept. So one of the things that I said is that I don't have any tattoos because I never really went off. But I've thought about it. If I did get a tattoo, I would get a very small one in a place that nobody would ever see it, and nobody would ever know that I had it. But if they ever called me up for an aliyah at shul, I would know that they're calling up a guy who has a tattoo. I would know.
That's amazing. You do that on the stand-up?
Yeah.
That is amazing. I love that. My favorite. My favorite tattoo I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Was the pasuk that you can't have tattooed.
Oh, that's awesome.
On this girl's shoulder.
I can't believe I've never seen that.
In a Hebrew, it's the pasuk.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Don't have a tattoo. I was like, that's how you go off the derech, baby. Right. That's how it's done.
Professional. right.
That's next level. You played in another league right there.
Yeah, I gotta learn from you. Yeah.
That person done it. That's they had They had an organization called Footsteps, which is out. And I was having an issue with it because it felt like it was recruiting people to go off the derech. The actual theory of the place is that people are going off the derech, so we're going to help them.
Right.
But I felt that they were an agenda. Mm-hmm. But really, because it was started by a person who left Chabad. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, you're just running a Chabad house. You're doing the same recruiting the other way. You took all the skills and you just transferred them to another organization.
That's amazing.
I could get in trouble for that statement.
Amazing.
They still around, probably doing good stuff.
I don't know.
You never heard of them?
No, I haven't. But,
So what's with your music?
My music.
I'll throw in the music.
Yeah, so my music.
Let me just say this.
Yes.
Guys, I said this to you before, but the guy said you did an amazing, what was it? Whiskey? Tennessee whiskey.
Thank you.
You probably do other awesome
Appreciate
things.
it.
I'm giving you the comment on there.
Well, I appreciate it. And
which I didn't hear because you took it down.
I took it down 2 days ago, actually. I just was going back. It was really.
I love that song, and I went to look to see if you were on. I was like, I didn't see that.
No, so I'm gonna put it back up because you're 100% right. I think it was just a moment where I was like, I'm overthinking it or whatever.
Gotcha.
I mean, it was a goofy video because I made a video for it where I was singing, and the plan was that in the parts of the song where there's no singing, it was just gonna cut to another image, even a stock image of like somebody sitting at a bar, but I hadn't put in the stock image, so it was just me like standing at a mic in between the parts.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, it's just whatever. That's why I took it down because I was like, I actually never finished it. I don't know why I put it up, but anyways.
Yeah.
But music. So
Wait, before
yeah.
you go to music, I will tell
Yeah.
you that I share a Facebook with my wife.
Okay.
Right? Well, it makes sense for me and my weird.
Yeah.
Me and my very in love with my wife. So we share Facebook, and social media. I didn't really have social media again until like the professional parts of it. So, but we shared Facebook, and my wife is very Republican, and I'm like, I don't know where I am,
Right.
But I'm not very Republican,
Right.
I'm probably left of the liberals. Don't tell anybody. It's a Jewish audience. I'm sorry. No, I don't know. I just love everybody.
I'm like that too.
This is my line. I want a T-shirt. It says, "I love everybody I don't know."
Nice.
I love everybody.
Right,
Until
right.
I meet you, then
That's questionable.
Then we'll
Right.
question whether we like you or not. Anyway, so I'm very liberal until I know them. Anyway, we share it. My wife. It's connected to Tennessee whiskey. My wife posts some stuff, and some of it's like very Republican. Like I would not agree with this stuff, but everybody thinks it's me, right? So I made a rule that I will never back down. If someone says, "Oh, yeah, I saw you posted this and this," and that, I'm like, "Yeah." I don't care if I threw out to the world. Whatever she posts out there,
Right.
I will go with it. I guess
Yeah.
it's like improv a little. But she actually posted one thing that was so wrong about addiction or whatever. It was like everything against everything I've ever said. It was like, and it felt to me like Amram Avinu, who's fought his whole life like against child sacrifice, and then
Right.
he's like has to go and like kill his kid,
Oh, dang.
and you're like, that's the worst test ever. Like he
Yeah.
literally has been preaching me. So I'm preaching one for her. My wife puts out a thing that was like marijuana killing people in Colorado, and I'm like, what are you putting on it? But I kept it there.
Right,
And people
right.
came at me, and I'm like, yep.
Right.
What you got? Anyway, that's my inspiration for you. the Tennessee
And,
whiskey.
and in
Just-
general, I have more of that
let
mindset
the-
than I used to. But,
Yeah.
But it was missing. It was just missing pieces. I don't know why I put it up in the first place. I guess I was like feeling free and just throw it up there, whatever.
Your music.
Yeah, my music. So the music has always made sense to me. I always was like interested in music, singing from when I was a little kid. I did the choirs, all that kind of stuff. I started playing guitar when I was in high school. It was still cool to play guitar. You know what I mean? Like it was like everybody tried at, and back then. So it's really a part of my soul. I know that. I can recall early memories where I was drawn to music, like 4 or 5 years old, where I was like excited by just music, But over the years, I had a really unhealthy relationship with it. Unhealthy makes it sound like it was worse than it is, but I didn't know how to relate to music as a part of my soul. It was just about being productive, being better. Accomplishing something new. It was very anxiety driven for many, many years. And really actually the precursor to me going to improv was me finding a bunch of books that opened up creativity and started teaching me how to actually do something creative without it being run through my anxiety first. For many years, people would see me playing and they'd be like, "You're good. I don't understand. Why are you so nervous?" And it wouldn't always come through to audiences, let's say, but like people we were jamming, they'd be like, "Dude, just play." And one of my best friends, he's like, he has like little fingers, and it's just always like one around the neck, like, and he's like easygoing. Like he has a lot of that, like your kind of energy where he's just like, he just chills. And I would be like, "How did you do that?" And he'd be like, "I don't know." And I'd be like, "You have to know, you have to, right?" So a few years before I started doing improv, I started to realize that my relationship with my creative self, and specifically music, was not ideal at all. It was not respectful of who I am, and it wasn't even making good music per se. It was making good music, but it wasn't making like expressive music. And so I did a lot of work on really trying to change my relationship with music, and I still have a long way to go because music makes the sacredness go up. Of all the performances, the sacredness of music is still very high. Like I
Right.
still get like very like, okay, you're doing music now. you know. But I feel like really I started liking my music. I started liking what I sing, my voice. I started liking the songs that I write. And sometimes I listen to my own music like I would listen to someone else's music. And that's still kind of crazy to me. Like I feel like an urge to listen to that song the way I would if it was from Chris Stapleton or whatever. So that's one of the things I do in my practice when I have a musical client, which Addicts has so many musical addicts because like their soul is like, give me something. I want to, you know. We do a yearly recovery open mic night, which is just come and like perform. If you've never performed before, this could be your first time. If you perform all the time, this is a great time to perform for people in recovery, friends of yours or whatever. Because I want them to have what I've at least begun to start finding, which is like music is literally just a part of you. It's not like a ticket to something or, you know, like people are going to hear it and then they're going to be like, wow, and we like him now. Like, it's a part of you. And so like this little small setting, recovery open mic night, come and use it.
It's funny because you're talking about how you're flowing with it, but you also, I kind of have your same curse. I'm just going to point it out. I'll do it nicely though. No, it's just that like at the end of the day, you made it meaningful again.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like instead of it just being a thing, you're like recovery open mic night.
Right.
And I feel like that's the curse of us. We take everything and make it how to heal the world. I get it. But
I'll tell you the cursed version of the bad version of it would be like about the performance and the quality of the music and my own performance that night. I'll tell you my favorite. We're having our 5th annual in August. 5th annual recovery open mic night. Of
so
all,
cool.
Yeah, thank God. I'm like, and it's always small, and it's
Is it in Florida?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a small thing.
We do little ones in our sober homes.
Yeah.
The same thing, open mic.
Yeah, just give people the space to just play, you know? I always say every year that if you're a first-time performer, you are the most important person here. That this is why we do it. Because you probably think that nobody would like or be interested in hearing your music. You're wrong. And tonight, you're going to prove yourself wrong, right?
Wow.
So that, I say every year, that's my favorite thing, and that's the most important reason why we do it. But I'll tell you the best moment, it might have been in the 2nd or 3rd year. We always try to get people who didn't sign up to like perform, like they might get inspired while they're sitting there, you know? So it'll be like, someone will be like, oh, can I go up? And so we start making a list like on the spot of like, okay, who else, right? A guy got up there and he sang, and he didn't even play an instrument. Somebody ran to the piano, started playing with him. Mm-hmm. It was right after somebody played like this death metal song where it was like, motherfucker, cursing, swearing, right? Like crazy. Then he gets up there, and then that turned into like one of the simplest Torah songs, like Hashem Tamima, and everybody was dancing. Everybody was dancing, right? Jewish, not Jewish, religious, tattoos, rabbi, whatever. Everybody was dancing, like Hashem Tamima. It was like, fuck you. And I was like, this is the most beautiful. That's, you know what I'm saying? So like my old relationship with music wouldn't have allowed me to see that or create or be a part of that moment because it would have been like, we have to figure out how the This was like, yeah, we're doing music and we're bringing people together with it.
Ugh, I love it. I
So
love it.
awesome.
We did open mic. Oh my God, I had like 5 thoughts, but I was loving what you're saying. We did open mic by us, and I showed everybody another part of me which nobody knew about, is that I used to love plays, like Broadway. So
You sang something?
Yeah, I performed some Jean Valjean bit, and I used to know the entire Les Miserables by heart.
That's
so
awesome.
it was like I sat there in the Bay, you know, getting wild, getting wild while
I'm like imagining like a table with like knives and brass knuckles and like lines and like you're there like going like, oh,
not only that, my friend Mark, he did all the women parts. And he said he would do all the women parts. I do all the guy parts. And we'd sing this entire thing. It was fantastic.
That's awesome.
This is That's a long time ago.
So you did it at.
I did it at the open mic.
Yeah.
Everybody like freaked out. Like, where did that come from? But
That's
I
great.
also had the other thought was I used to have his open house meals for now. Thank God, I just have my family at home for Shabbos, which I love as my kids got older. But I used to have these open, and whenever like the crowd was stiff, you just start an Uncle Moishy song.
Yeah.
Hey, like ain't gonna work on Saturday, or Hashem is here, Hashem is there, and you got the crowd is fully in.
My go-to is the pizza song.
What's the pizza song?
My pizza's on the floor. Oh, yeah. You don't know the pizza song?
Uncle Moishy?
Yeah. It literally came up in an improv group I did last night. One of the women made a reference to the pizza song.
The pizza song.
The pizza's on the floor. Your audience knows it.
I want to say I don't know. I was an A.B. Rottenberg guy.
Right. This we know.
We
know. Yeah.
So Uncle Moishy was...
Right.
Although I'd love to get him on the pod. We'll get him.
That would be cool.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was going to ask you to play, but I realized we're like way over the 2 hour point.
I don't even know what.
There is no point. There's no. Everybody keeps telling me, like, your pod should be like a half hour or 45 minutes. And I'm like, I'll go a half hour after 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'll just keep going.
I don't know.
When do I get to sit down and have a conversation with you?
What?
When?
We just did one.
That's what I'm saying. It has to happen on a
I thought
pod.
you were asking me when. I was like, what did we, wait, what did
You're
we
like,
just
wait
do?
a minute. What did I just do?
It's like 9 hours long. And you're like, when are we going to talk?
When should we start? Should we start now?
Press record.
Press record. No, I was gonna. No, we're going. I don't know how long we'll go.
Yeah, I don't either.
I would love to do like a Joe Rogan 6 hour pod one of these days.
Yeah, marathon.
Anyway, what do I want to say? If you have watched my pods,
Yes.
So you have no excuse to not have the rooftop question.
See, I have no excuse, but I'm also the improv guy, so I need to
very
make it up
hard.
on the spot. You know what I'm saying?
What's your rooftop yell to the world? And believe me, a lot of people listen. No, I'm just making that up. I don't know. Yeah. It's nice of that.
My rooftop. Okay. I thought about it yesterday when I was listening, and then I was like, let's see if it still fits, I think it does. I don't know how to put it in one sentence here, but let's this is the concept. The concept would be you matter tremendously, but not everything you do matters that much. Meaning, like, don't take yourself too seriously, Like, because
I love that.
Yeah, because like it's not a contradiction. You know what I mean? Like you can matter, and also it cannot matter if you wear sweatpants to Marv.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And it's like somebody could be like, I'm so important that I need to look a certain way, or like if I go there, people are gonna think, people are gonna say. And it's not that you're not important. It's just you're not important in that way, where like every little movement matters. You know what I'm saying? And that was something that took me a really long time, but improv was what did it. Like, aren't you embarrassed to be on stage doing that thing? I'm like, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like, what's gonna happen? What are you gonna do to me?
Right.
So it's not that I'm not important. It's not that I don't matter. It's just like, no, like nobody cares if you mismatched your socks, or like, nobody's talking about you if you like took an extra second to figure out what you're gonna say.
I would say even if they are talking about you, it still doesn't matter.
Yeah. And also, if they're talking about you, this I like to tell people all the time is like, imagine hearing that story. Like, all right, check it out. I was talking to like Juda, right? And then he was like, I have something to say. And then he was like, wait, I forgot what I was gonna say. It's not a story, So like those little things, like it's like you can be like, take life seriously. Don't take yourself that seriously. And the way you don't take yourself that seriously is just like little things that you do don't really matter in the way that like, your brain might tell you in those moments. Like, nobody's looking at you, man. Everyone's happy you're here. This is a better way to put it. We're happy you're here. Nobody's looking at you. Right?
I love it.
There we go.
I want to tell you, okay, so I have this, I had an honor of learning something new this week, which is so connected to this. So a friend of mine, Josh Rosen, he was on my pod a long time ago. He was a guy that came through, like I helped him out, but I call him a friend for these purposes. He said something that really was amazing, and listen to this. He said that all the celebrations in the world, he only likes birthday celebration. He says every celebration is because you did something. And and we're celebrating this. You got a PhD, you got this.
Right.
Birthday is the only celebration that it's just because you're alive.
Right.
We want you.
Right.
We're just celebrating that you're here. I've heard it so many times. Well, what did you accomplish? You did a birthday? What did you accomplish?
Right.
He's here, and we're happy he's here. We're
Yeah.
just celebrating your existence. So I don't know if it's
exactly
similar
that.
to the same.
It's exactly that, right? And then it doesn't matter. Like some of the little things you do don't matter. Meaning we know the baseline is you matter. You matter to the point where we celebrate you every single year. One day where we say, no strings attached. We're happy you're here, right?
I would tell you this is a really rough one also because I'm dealing with so many. You're also dealing with addiction, but like we have deaths.
Yeah.
And then you have everybody stand up, and they're not talking about the long hair or the breaking the derrick. They're just like, we want you here now.
Yeah.
And it's like so sad how much the family and the community has been focusing on all these other stupidities.
Right.
When if they weren't here, you're like, I don't care about any of those things. I just want you here. So I guess it's that always hits me so hard because I've had parents that like doing the tough love and what it is, and then your kid died and like he was sick. Like you missed the last 2 years of his life because you were being, putting up powerful boundaries and like you were trying to change him. And then it was 2 years where you didn't get to see him and be with him. Right. And even if he would have died, it was better to not do that approach.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? It's
yeah. And it's based on what? It's based on what? Like the hair, the tattoo, I remember a Rebbe in Israel saying we were having this whole like debate about like the guys who were flipping out, And like basically what we were talking about was like if you get dressed up in a white shirt and you start growing pay, it's like, does that mean anything? And he basically said, no, it doesn't mean anything. But the way that he said it stuck with me. He said, anything you can do overnight, you can undo overnight. And I was like, that's awesome because like let's work on the inside. Let's work on the deeper stuff. And I try to tell that to parents of teenagers. I'm like, never, ever have a conversation about what your teenager's wearing, ever. There's no value in it. Because you know what he's going to do at one point in his life? He's going to take that shirt off, right?
Right.
But he's going to keep the part where you criticized him and nitpicked at every single thing that he did in his, that he does. It's like, dude, like he's going to, like whatever that is, it's going away. Whatever it is, it's not. Nobody dresses the same for 80 years.
It's such a powerful thing. It's all connected to improv. That's it.
is.
I got to take an improv class.
Yeah. Well, I would love to have you in an improv class, and I would love to do one.
How do I do
guys.
that? I come to Florida. What do I do?
When I come into New York, I'll set them up. I mean, I do it.
Okay, we're gonna
run
set
around.
We're gonna
set it up.
We're not scheduling.
No,
my
we're not
my
scheduling.
people will talk to your people.
Yeah, all of my peoples. Yeah, I got lots of peoples.
I got lots of people.
Hey.
I love this conversation.
This was fun.
Thank
this was
you.
Really fun. I knew we were gonna have fun. I knew it.
I knew it. I didn't know it, but I was intrigued.
You were intrigued.
I didn't know it. I was intrigued. That was amazing. Thank you, brother.
All right.
Thank you for this day that I've been given. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this chance. Thank you for this chance to live anew.